Miller Show.
So I wanna say thank you, 'cause it makes me that much stronger, makes me work a little bit harder, makes me that much wiser. Thanks for making me fighter.
Usually at a funeral, there's some fun speculation about how the deceased is in a better place. Maybe give us some of that, Sean.
Lindsay, Mr. President, I would argue in my mind probably has a heavenly version of Mar-a-Lago. He may have a little more gold in the Oval Office in his mansion in heaven. And I wouldn't be surprised if he added one big, beautiful ballroom and an arch somewhere on the property.
Okay, let me get this straight. You're saying that when God asked Lindsey Graham, where do you want to spend eternity? Lindsey said, you know that tacky club in Palm Beach that's so ugly it became a nickname for botched plastic surgery? I want you to stuff a ballroom in it, slap an arch in there, and then pack in an Oval Office so I'm living in a Trump version of Backrooms. That's my little slice of heaven.
Jordan Klepper. Oh, by the way, I missed the Trump literally in his pants at Lindsey Graham's funeral. Have you seen that video yet? The guy behind him absolutely dropped a load. That is the face of. Oof. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that guy behind him. It looked like he was trying to not cry. That's what
no.
Yeah,
no,
that's
watch
what that
it.
was.
No,
I watched the whole thing.
No, it's all over social media. People are saying the same thing. You can see it over and over again. He makes this face. All right, don't harsh my buzz. And this is before Rand Paul, the bed, all over the place yesterday. I cannot wait to talk to Dr. Redletter, who is, of course, a close personal friend of Dr. Fauci's, and talk to him a lot during this whole COVID nightmare. I don't even know where to start. I did not think I could hate Trump and Republicans anymore. They are disgraceful. That was disgraceful. And that is saying a lot for this version of the Republican Party.
Yeah. Speaking of people making faces, did you see Laura Ingraham making faces behind Fauci yesterday? She made over 50 different faces.
I can't. You know what?
She took a selfie.
This story you just handed me seems to. It just sums up this entire party and the loss of their humanity. This man is a hero. Is a lifelong public servant that has, I mean, from back in the days of AIDS to up till now. I mean, this whole. I mean, this is. Just another rewriting of history, like they're trying to do with the 2020 election and January 6th and all of this. It was, I mean, there's some ways, Chris, I'm like, did they really want to remind us of how badly they handled COVID and take us all back to that again? But Stephen Miller's awful wife, Katie Miller, calls for jailing Fauci. So he assisted her after she tested COVID positive while pregnant.
Yep.
So this is someone who's personally helped her and her equally awful husband.
Sent her personal text saying,
Right. He counseled the family after Katie Miller tested positive for COVID-19 while pregnant in 2020, when Stephen Miller tested positive, and when their newborn child experienced a medical episode later that year. He writes, I'm calling Katie frequently to check on her a couple times a day. She's very anxious about getting very ill since she's 10 weeks pregnant. Tonight she had an anxiety reaction. I calmed her over the phone.
What a mensch. Seriously.
Yeah, but this is how awful these people are.
And now she's crapping all over him and what he did for her.
I happened to bring up Bernie Moreno because I was like, are you seriously kidding? I mean, we know about Rand Paul's awfulness for years and years, but Bernie Moreno, to Fauci's face, who the do you think you were? Chris Hayes said the same thing I did. Weird he can't bring this kind of energy toward his colleagues who was accused of beating up his daughter. I mean, dear God, we've talked about Max Miller, his colleague, right? Who apparently, I don't know, first of all, know why he's not in prison. He apparently threw boiling water on her, held a gun to her head, broke the 2-year-old's collarbone. Bernie Moreno, really? He wants to know who the Dr. Fauci thinks he is? Yes. Must I listen to it? All right, fine. Here is the aforementioned awful Bernie Moreno.
Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people.
Oh, dear Jesus. Okay, first of all, as we say all the time, Chris, would any of us want all of our private diaries or texts or whatever? You are entitled to your own thoughts. And first of all, I think he even said that publicly. You can imagine for a nerd, a lifelong scientist, it wasn't his choice that he became a big celebrity. It's because we were going through this traumatic worldwide pandemic, and he was one of the #1 experts in the world. So of course people looked to him. That's not on him. So of course he expressed surprise and whatever that all these celebrities were, interested in him. But so what? So what? Yes, thank you. Steve said COVID broke every Republican because they were publicly wrong about everything. Instead of admitting they were wrong, they have to find a scapegoat for their own stupidity. This is all about their midterm panic, right? They're like, what about the 2020 election? What about COVID?
Yeah, remember how bad COVID was?
Why do they want it? You were like, we had the worst response in the world. Yes, we remember drink bleach and shove a UV light up your ass. Yeah, we remember all of it.
Things are so bad for the Republican Party right now that I guess they feel that bringing up COVID again will...
And this 85-year-old man, this lifelong public servant, I just can't. Yeah. Covey says Donald Trump fired the entire pandemic response team in 2018 before COVID, not Dr. Fauci. I mean, this absolutely is all at Trump's feet, and they're trying to once again rewrite history. By the way, just so many personal stories, that obviously, and it's triggered a lot of pain for a lot of people that lost people during COVID. We lost 1 million people. Threaded. I'm remembering today an ICU doctor at our local hospital who was a COVID denier. The last words he said before he was put on a ventilator and later died was, "I was wrong." Dr. Fauci is a hero. Just on and on. And this, Regas said the same thing we just said. Make no mistake, Fauci's back in the news because Republicans are terrified of the midterms. They want to highlight what they think was Democrats treading on you, but they leave out the part where we were led by a narcissistic, incompetent simpleton as the rest of the world watched. And what we recovered faster than any other nation under a new, competent, measured leader with diplomatic abilities who trusted science, now release the Epstein files. You notice none of these Republicans treated anyone involved in the Epstein files like this.
Those people are still running free.
So here, God bless Dr. Fauci. Here he is, his opening statement.
Given Senator Paul's obvious obsession with calling for my prosecution, his repeated slanderous comments about me, and recently his publicly releasing my unredacted personal diary aimed at embarrassing and intimidating me, although it pains me to do so because of the respect I have for the legislative branch of government and my decades-long record of cooperating with Congress. Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
As he should. And now you realize the wisdom of Biden giving him a pardon because of that, exactly this ridiculous, vindictive, prosecutorial thing that runs through the whole party. It's not just Trump. It's insane. What is it, Florida? AG has already said, I'm going to, like Tuberville, so we're going to bring him to state court and put him in jail. We've reached peak insanity. And so Wanda just reminds us, for those who say anyone who pleads the Fifth is guilty, as Donald Trump once did, Trump pled the Fifth more than 440 times during his 2020 4-hour deposition. Eric Trump pled the Fifth over 500 times in 2020. Roger Stone invoked the Fifth during the House January 6 investigation. Michael Flynn invoked the Fifth when questioned. John Eastman pled the Fifth approximately 100 times in the same investigation. More than 30 witnesses before the committee invoked the Fifth. So please spare me your fake outrage, right? Okay. Midas Touch said, things are so bad for Republicans right now. They're like, okay, but remember the pandemic? Yeah. And Tennessee Holler said literally this. They're acting like people didn't die, like we all didn't live through it and see it with our own eyes, and Trump wasn't president at the time.
What they were trying to say yesterday is that the vaccine is what killed all the people, not the virus itself.
Oh, my God.
They're really trying to rewrite history here.
Oh, my God.
And it was really frustrating to listen to.
The vast majority of people who died were unvaccinated. It was not a hard thing to remember.
That's not what the Republicans said yesterday.
Anyone sane here? Let's see.
Yeah, James Carville?
Yeah, we'll try that.
The main thing we learned from the release of his personal texts or emails or whatever it was is we didn't learn anything. This was basically an honest guy trying to deal with a once in a millennium public health issue who did, by the way, there is no evidence that he tried to make any money off of it. There was no evidence he was recommending one thing or another for everything you do. But I don't think the guy really made any mistakes. And I think the biggest mistake, the headline mistake he made, was totally justified by his answer.
Yeah. Okay. And plus, I can't believe we have to go back over all this. That's why it was called the novel coronavirus. It was new. He, like every other scientist in the world, was trying to take in information in real time. And they're like, oh, you said masks and then no masks and then whatever. Well, yes, because it was a fast moving, and then he, as any scientist did, he took in new information and gave the best information he had to the public. This is just insane that we're even having to talk about. This is what they want, is for us to talk about this bull.
Oh, we have plenty of other stuff to talk about.
Yes.
That doesn't look good for the Republicans.
Yes. Kellison said Anthony Fauci is the first name worldwide as the most respected epidemiologist. His name is on virology textbooks studied by medical students the world over. For the lifetime of work he's done, his expertise guided us through the dark days of 2 pandemics. Rand Paul is an eye doctor that couldn't pass recertification in Kentucky. This is a waste of time and resources. Release the full unedited Epstein files and end the conflict in Iran. Thank you.
Rand Paul, well-known eye doctor who does surgery with a melon baller.
Yes, a rusty melon baller, because he's unregulated.
Yeah.
But didn't he make up his own board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He regulated
which allows
himself.
him to do eye surgery with a rusty melon baller. Okay, and Cliff, one last one. It sure seems like these Fauci hearings are only going to remind the American public how grossly the COVID pandemic was mismanaged by the father of lies and how many unnecessary deaths he caused. I mean, that is provable statistically. The amount of people, particularly that died because of all this disinformation. Do I have to listen to an? Oh, good. Let's listen to the stupidest senator, Tommy Tuberville.
He should be locked up before he leaves this building today and put in prison and then put on trial in front of the American people. We lost 20 to 30,000 people in Alabama alone. And I hope every damn one of them sues this Dr. Fauci, puts him in court. If we can't put him in prison, let's put him in court every day for the rest of his life where he has to be punished and listen to the death that he caused.
Okay. It's gonna be a challenge to keep my FCC license today. But as Dr. Redlener frequently reminded us, remember during this whole thing, as Covey says, more people in red states and counties died from COVID compared to blue states and counties, and the difference is the people in red states were listening to Fox News, Trump, RFK Jr., anti-vaxxers, and Republican lawmakers all telling them to suck horse paste, shove a UV light up their ass, and inject bleach, while people in blue states were listening to Dr. Fauci. And it should, as Dr. Redlener always said, it shouldn't be that way. That's not what doctors want. They want, he was trying to keep everybody healthy, but it was so stark if you looked at the map of red states and blue states. One last one, Stuart Stevens, Lincoln Project.
Now, we live in a country today where it's unsafe to eat a salad, and we have a guy who's in charge of our national health who was a longtime heroin addict who defends being a heroin addict, saying it worked for him. A guy who has talked about snorting cocaine off a toilet seat versus Anthony Fauci.
Oh, God. Yep, that's the dumbest part of the dumbest timeline we are currently in. Just at this hour. It'll get dumber by the end of the day.
Oh, it will.
Okay, we have a big show, however. We got hang on. Carl Frisch, we have Dr. Redlener, who I cannot wait to talk to in about a little less than an hour, and then JoJo from Jers in all of hour 3. So there.
Well,
19 minutes after the hour, this portion of the show, brought to you by Bristle Beauty.
This is Donald Trump's reasoning. This is how...
Donald Trump, back in the first term when Jeff Sessions was Attorney General and was insufficiently evil.
Recuse himself. Sessions, you're fired. This is a disaster. A total disaster. I need loyalty.
Trump was reported as saying many times, "Where's my Roy Cohn? Where's my Roy Cohn?" And now he's found him.
Thank you very much. I love you, sir.
He's found someone as amoral, someone who just threw away all of his ethics as a lawyer. And by the way, if Trump's wondering, Roy Cohn is exactly where Jeff Epstein and Trump's dad are, and all three are waiting for him any day now. You'll see your Roy Cohn again very soon.
Donald Trump has a fascinating little party trick. Call him a rapist? He'll threaten to sue you. Call him a fraud? Lawsuit. Question his business? Lawsuit. Hurt his feelings? Congratulations, you're about to finance another lawyer's vacation home. But call him a pedophile protector to his face, suddenly this man achieves the emotional equilibrium of a Buddhist monk who just finished a 6-month silent retreat. January, Dearborn. A worker on the Ford factory floor yells at him. Trump flips him off. Last month, Pennsylvania. Another guy skips protector altogether and just goes straight for the noun, and Trump does nothing. Yesterday, in Michigan, third guy, same accusation. Trump looks over and calls him a communist.
He's a communist. He's a communist. He's a communist. We're running against communists. Now, this is great.
Right, because the classic warning signs of communism are hammer and sickle, state-controlled economies, mandatory collectivization, and confronting powerful people who protect pedophiles. That's the rebuttal? That's the strategy? Your Honor, opposing counsel has accused my client of protecting pedophiles. In response, we'd like the record to reflect that he's a communist. Well, turns out the secret to beating any serious allegation is just calling the person making it a communist. Hell of a legal system. Who's next? Jeffrey Dahmer? Somebody get me his position on collective farming before we rush to judgment. 3 men, 3 public accusations, 0 lawsuits, not a cease and desist, not a filing, nothing. Funny how all that legendary legal aggression disappears the second somebody calls him a pedophile protector. Meanwhile, his Justice Department is in federal court fighting to keep millions of pages of Epstein's records buried. His acting attorney general has already admitted in a court filing that he's violating the very law Trump signed. A judge ordered the records produced or the withholding explained. Instead, they've missed the deadline and asked to show evidence privately to one judge, when the law says the public gets to see it. Maybe it's me, but if people were screaming that I raped children and my name showed up thousands of times in Jeffrey Epstein's files, you wouldn't have to drag the truth out of me. I'd move heaven and earth. Then I'd rip up whatever was underneath heaven and earth to move that too. I'd be throwing the truth at you. Every page, every email, every flight log, every goddamn receipt. Because if the truth clears your name, you don't hire a strategy. You release the evidence. He has done the opposite. 8 months of delays, 8 months of redactions, 2.5 million pages the public still isn't allowed to see. That's why people keep screaming these words at him. And if I happen to be the most litigious rich prick in American history, my defense would probably consist of something a little more convincing than a middle finger and a red scare slur. But what the fuck do I know? My inner circle wasn't holed up in the Situation Room, trying to figure out how to spin the story instead of simply proving there wasn't one.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. Take it. 25 minutes after the hour.
Yep.
Carl Frisch coming up. One last legal point. Paid protester says Senator Rand Paul does not seem to understand what constitutes contempt of Congress. Fauci showed up. Unlike Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon, he was not given immunity for what he would say today. As a result, he was entitled to cite the Fifth Amendment. It just, I swear to God, they make up their own rules.
Mm-hmm.
They all plead the Fifth, and then, I obviously, noted fisting aficionado Josh Hawley, who was particularly douche-tastic, which is hard to be next to Rand Paul, to be even more douche-tastic. He accused Fauci of trying to enrich himself during COVID, which there's no evidence. Okay. He melted down on X after Fauci invoked the Fifth. He said, hint for you, no honest person pleads the Fifth. How many Republicans, all the way up to Trump, did I just read, have pled the Fifth over and over and over again? Trump has done it hundreds of times. That was in the fraud case in which he was convicted 34 times of 34 felonies. Yes, Chris.
On the right, they are accusing Fauci of trying to make a lot of money through the gain-of-function research that was being done in Wuhan.
Yes, life-saving research.
Right. So
sure.
that's where that came from.
Hi, Karen.
Okay, now
Hi, Karen in Chicago. Hello. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Now do Trump. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
These people are delusional. Okay, let's unpack this. I remember when Donald Trump called COVID a Democrat hoax. He said it would go away like a miracle. He was standing out there next to Dr. Fauci spewing absolute misinformation that Dr. Fauci was going to have to refute. And of course he was going to do that because he's a scientist and he cares about saving people's lives. And then he was saved, Donald Trump was saved by the medicine that was out there because of people like Dr. Fauci. And then he Operation Warp Speed, that was supposedly Trump's baby.
Karen,
and now
this is
delusional.
This is Christine. You have to try to remember it because there's been so much effery since then. She said, so Operation Warp Speed was Trump's initiative to get an FDA-approved COVID vaccine rolled out, but also COVID's a hoax, and vaccines are bad, so you should take ivermectin for a hoax. More than 1 million Americans died of a hoax, and somehow it's all Anthony Fauci's fault. Make it make sense. I mean, just having...
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm sorry. No, so, I'm sorry. Rand Paul, look, I have to believe he knows better. Tommy Tuberville, probably not. Yeah. But Rand Paul knows better, okay? Shame on him. These people are vile. They are disgusting, and we need to understand. So all of, Cory Booker, all of the Democrats that try and work with these guys, understand who these people are. They are not our friends. Yeah. They are absolutely...
And Karen, do compare and contrast, like the way Senator Ossoff conducted himself. Democrats are tough, but they're fair. They're not just insulting little, weasels in these hearings. I mean, Rand Paul, it's all theatrics and throwing Fauci's attorney out and fisting aficionado Josh Hawley. It's just it's all stunts. He said, nothing says honesty like taking the Fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something. What day of the week is it today? What color tie are you wearing? What color is the carpet in front of you? Just to be a bag of D's, right? Moments later, Hawley claimed Fauci didn't want to answer questions because he did all kinds of terrible things and got rich during the pandemic. I swear to God, he should sue all these for slander. It's just based on nothing. Yeah, I know, but he wouldn't. Carl Frisch next.
Hi, and welcome back. Just 906 days left to go in our countdown to liberty. Today from the Oval Office, Donald Trump announced sweeping plans to renovate Dulles Airport, making it one of the most beautiful airports in the entire world. How long do you think it's going to be before he renames it Trump Airport? Just a thought. You know it's coming. Meanwhile, he said it's time for him to hit back at Iran. You got to smack him around a little bit. Definitely had to smack him around. Of course, he told Trey Yingst on Fox News that he was going to beat the living shit out of him or beat the fucking shit out of him, one of the two, and that always goes over well internationally. And finally, and most importantly, Dr. Fauci is now, according to the Donald Trump administration, entirely responsible for the COVID outbreak. Yes, that lost Donald Trump the election in 2020. It's all Fauci's fault. We heard, of course, it was Obama's, Biden's, now Fauci's fault. Never mind the fact that Donald Trump didn't want to test, couldn't get tests, and kept people from getting tested, but that's not a big problem. It's all Fauci's fault. Just another day in the life of the United States. Only the best. We're a hot country. Hot, hot. It is hot. There's no such thing as climate change, though. See you next time.
Hello, did you know that your brain is roughly 73% water? That's why even mild dehydration can sometimes contribute to things like headaches, dizziness, brain fog, irritability. Staying properly hydrated with water and electrolytes plays an important role in supporting memory, focus, and mental alertness. As we age, hydration becomes even more essential for helping our bodies function at their best. That's where Native Hydrate comes in. Native Hydrate, 100% natural, with a thoughtfully designed formula that includes BCAAs and all 9 essential amino acids to support muscle recovery, strength, overall wellness. It helps replenish key electrolytes to support your body's natural energy levels, free of artificial flavors, sugars, dyes, only 5 calories a serving. Every order comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee. Try it risk-free at nativehydrate.com/Stephanie. See what it can do for your hydration and wellness. Yum, yum, yum.
Nobody believes everything that is in the Bible. The Bible clearly commands us to kill anyone who works more than 6 days a week. It bluntly forbids ever eating ham or wearing clothing made of mixed materials. It forbids divorce, but not polygamy. It forbids playing football, but doesn't forbid slavery. It forbids gathering sticks on a Saturday, but doesn't forbid genocide. It forbids eating shrimp, but doesn't forbid trading your 10-year-old child for a goat.
That we haven't acknowledged these injection injuries, these people can't get treatment. They're being gaslit by their doctors. So it's all in your head. The rate of the injection injury of suicides is increasing because they've given up hope, because our medical establishment and federal health agencies have completely failed them, failing to acknowledge it.
That would be Ron Johnson, who was in a dumb off with Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, if you get Ron Johnson and Mike Johnson confused, if you get your Johnsons confused, Lauren Boebert can give you a hand. It's an old joke. Just felt like I'd repurpose that. Just recycle that. Okay. So
I think that joke had started to turn
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, they're bringing up all old stuff, so
okay.
I got to bring out all the old jokes. Hang on. I just wanted to review what he said. People are committing mass suicide because what now?
Because they've been injection injured, and they're telling their doctors, and their doctors are telling them that nothing is wrong with them. So they're committing suicide.
Are they? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mass suicide.
Please, Henry.
Carl.
No, Tommy. Carl Frisch. Let's talk to our fancy Fairfax County School Board friend, shall we? CarlFrisch.com. Hiya, Carl.
Good morning. How dare you scoff at the idea of the Johnstown massacres?
Can you?
Meanwhile, I'm busy putting up missing
vaccine?
signs.
Is there a vaccine for dumb? Because I'm afraid that we're all going to get
Sadly,
contact
no.
dumb. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sadly, no. There are not. I've just been busy putting up missing person signs all over the nation's capital, not for Mitch McConnell, but for signs of intelligent life in the Republican caucus.
Yes, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you. Carl, like your background obviously is as a political strategist, so let's talk about the politics of this, because again, maybe I'm not understanding something, but part of why Trump got thrown out, I mean, a big part of why he got thrown out in 2020 is his disastrous response to COVID and that 1 million of us died. This is what they really want to remind everybody of? I mean, someone posted, Trumpers can't win on the economy, no new wars or affordability, so they bring up the 2020 election and Fauci? Hilarious.
Well, you remember, everything about this administration, nothing had to do with helping working people and solving the affordability crisis for this administration. It is all about relitigating things that Trump feels like he got a raw deal on. And when he thinks he got a raw deal, it just means that he came out looking poorly, which is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's the politics of it. A lot of people, so what the MAGA GOP is doing to Dr. Fauci today is an absolute abomination. It's hands down the most insanely cruel and stupid exercise of Trump fealty ever witnessed. Every one of these MAGA senators should be sued for libel, stripped of their stolen wealth, and abandoned. I mean, I hope it backfires on them politically. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's been interesting to see them complain about Fauci taking the fifth and saying only a guilty person would do that, given how many times Donald Trump has done the same thing. But as is often the case with the Republican conference, they're incapable of seeing, the same type of behavior in their own midst, especially when it's Donald Trump. But I think anytime, they are talking about something other than helping people and helping the economy, they're digging their hole deeper and deeper and deeper. And they've not talked about those issues since they ran for election in 2024. And it's going to come back to bite them in the rear end. I think Democrats are going to have a wildly successful election because of it.
I do too. And Carl, it really does. It is what it feels like to live in a dictatorship, I imagine. It literally, all of this is for an audience of one. All of these, these things that have nothing to do with everybody's everyday life. And in the meantime, as a lot of people keep pointing out, we have multiple massive foodborne illness outbreaks going on right now. Instead of doing anything about it, Republican Congress is harassing Fauci all day for some bull theatrics, while the rapist president spends all his time spray painting statues gold and attacking the Smithsonian. The only objective of this administration is desecration, and that's showing up in all the polling, isn't it?
It is. I mean, when you've got a bunch of people who think screwworm is just a nickname Trump has given to another member of Congress, you're not likely to get, any kind of action out of them. But this is not just, I'll correct you, it's not just an audience of one. Their only hope in this election is to try and figure out a way to activate Trump voters to turn out and vote, who do not typically vote in mid-year elections. They only vote when Trump's on the ballot. So what are they going to do? They're going to raise the grievances that Trump has in a hope that it will light a fire under these people's butts to get out and vote. But it hasn't done that in the past. Things look worse for them now than they did in 2018.
I think Democrats are ahead on enthusiasm. The gap is like by almost 20 points. Yeah.
Yeah. And for anybody that, came around to Trump in the last election, they've virtually all abandoned him because he's not done anything that he said he would do. In fact, he's done the opposite, made life more difficult for them.
Yeah. Well, in one last one, Covey said measles cases are the highest they've ever been in decades. Lettuce is giving people explosive diarrhea, so Republicans are questioning Fauci about COVID. I guess politically we should go, okay, well, I guess that's good, but it was disgusting to watch. For those of us that lost loved ones to AIDS, we remember Dr. Fauci, out on the forefront, helping people with AIDS 1 million years ago. This man is a lifelong public servant, and it's just disgraceful what they did to him yesterday.
Well, Trump can never tolerate having a smarter person in the room.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah.
Who's not willing to bend the knee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just debacle after debacle. So this is the latest reporting. Trump exasperated at his top officials at odds over Iran war strategy. I mean, This is like the COVID response. I mean, everything he does, Carl, is a complete debacle of incompetence. I mean, this is the reporting. Trump has grown increasingly exasperated as the war in Iran stretches into its 6 months. He recently erupted at top national security officials amid deep divisions inside his administration over how to proceed. Yeah, they don't know what they're doing, is basically this story. As one U.S. official put it, after all this time, there's no unity. Trump exploded during a meeting with top national security officials last week over a lack of progress in Iran, yelling expletives. The president's exasperated. I don't think he believed it was going to be this difficult to get the Iranians to agree to a deal. Right, because he's a moron and also the worst deal maker ever. There was not a real strategy for how long or what they should do to get to the end point. He did not intend this to be a long, drawn-out war. Oh, my God. And that's just this morning's story, right?
Well, and what we do know is that some of the options he's wanted to pursue are not viable because of how he got us to this point, using up the American arsenal in the run-up to where we are now. So there are things that he has made us weaker as a country in terms of being able to respond to any attacks on us by doing this. It's not going to end anytime soon. So every time there's a new conversation about some kind of a ceasefire, I'll believe it when I see it. But this administration thus far has been giving away the kitchen to try and appease Iran and to end this, and then pulling it back just weeks later. So I don't anticipate that this administration is going to suddenly become good negotiators.
All we're left with always, Carl, is this stupid, faux macho bluster, right? Trump raged to a Fox News reporter about the surprise attack by Iran on U.S. troops, telling him, "We're going to beat the out of them." Oh, okay. Well, that seems like that strategy's been working so far. It's just about sounding tough to his stupid base, right? I mean, so this is the Fox chief foreign correspondent reported on Fox and Friends that Trump said, "We're going to beat the out of them." He went on to say, "We'll be hitting them hard. They're going to get a beating." I don't know about you. I'm just so exhausted with the alpha male, whatever, bluster we get from him and Hegseth and whatever in this disaster of a war.
Yeah, I think historians are now calling it pull-up diplomacy. It's going to be about as successful as trying to hold on to a metal bar when your arms are greased up.
Yeah, he's incompetent at pull-ups as well. Wow. By the way, though, you expressed optimism at the beginning here. Ana Navarro, who, lifelong Republican, she said two things. First, we are going to send Democratic majorities to both houses in November. Second, those Democrats should be clear that their mandate is to do everything in their power and then some to fight this corrupt regime. I know, despite it all, I am feeling confident, but it just, I guess it's every day. That's part of it, is just to exhaust us into despair, right?
That's exactly what it is. I mean, their hope is twofold: energize their base and dissuade ours from trying to do anything about it. So we can't let them do that. We've come this far. We're months away. So people need to be doing everything they can to get that vote out. And the polling is very encouraging in swing states, especially in those Senate races.
Yeah.
Tellurico in Texas has been ahead in many polls against Ken Paxton. That's something Beto was never capable of pulling off against Ted Cruz. We're looking good in Iowa and Maine and North Carolina and on and on and on. And then you've got House races all over the country. And one thing that people will not know until after the votes are counted is that a lot of races are, on the razor's edge that we may not even be following. And so those typically fall the direction that the winds are blowing on Election Day.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible that the majority that Democrats enter the House of Representatives with is much larger than anybody's expecting.
Yeah. Oh, boy. From your lips to God's ears. Or whoever Chris prays to. Jesus.
I just hope she's listening.
Pray.
Jesus.
I don't pray.
This is just this morning's corruption story. Secret Service agents who questioned James Comey were told to send details of the interview to Air Force One so Trump could review them. So here's the only good news. I don't know whether it's going to be good news, but Senate Judiciary Committee postpones vote on Todd Blanche's nomination. I have no idea what's going to happen, right? It's Cornyn and Tillis, of course, threatened to sink the Blanche nomination. What do you think they're going to make good on that? Or, they're leaving office.
I think they're going to get they're doing it to get concessions, and we'll see if they get those concessions. I mean, there's no leverage that Trump has against them at this point. He really messed that up in the primaries. So,
they only need
we'll
one.
see where it ends up.
We only need one senator, right, to scuttle this nomination. It's just, but it's a question of, and it's about the slush fund now, I guess. Know, I don't see how meeting with the Epstein survivors, fulfilled that to me, because it was, as they all said, it was obviously just perfunctory. So he gets this promotion, and he was rude and disrespectful to them, as you would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, and look, either the administration is going to give these folks what they want, and things will move forward, because at the end of the day, these people are still Republicans, and they're probably not going to stand in the way unless they're not getting what they want, because they have nothing to worry about in this election now that they've been primaried out of office.
And Carl, I think it's not just the whatever is going to be trillion whatever for this endless war, but that none of us can afford anything. They're cutting Medicare, prescription drug stuff. They've cut SNAP benefits. And then there's a story a day like this. New, President Trump reveals the White House has ordered 250 new Cadillac Escalades for the presidential motorcade. Our guys are very spoiled. They like the Escalade. So do I. We look sharp in those Escalades. As Covey said, they cut pediatric cancer research because it's waste, fraud, and abuse. And then this is like a daily story, right? They're saying that could be... they're $300 a piece. It could be $75 million. Add to that the $15 million for the new presidential limo, and the rest of us don't have health care or can't afford prescription drugs anymore, right?
Yeah, well, and I don't know how they're going to make it work, but a friend of his is actually going to be the one building these Escalades.
Of course.
Like, they're going
and he'll
to take the
cut.
workers out of the factory.
Yeah, his daddy's going to have a little taste, because that's how the mob works.
Just like his friend is going to be the one rebuilding Dulles. It's like, God.
Unbelievable. All right. Carl, best of luck to you. MooksForCarl.com is the only way to fight back, America.
Yes.
Do
Please
it.
fight back.
That's right.
All right. Love you.
Thanks, Carl.
47 minutes after the hour. It's so insane that they have to that he has to go through this again. That it's that they're just trying to embarrass him. These are his private diaries. Like, who cares what his thoughts were about this whole clown show that was going on during COVID? And, I mean, they were his private thoughts. It's not relevant at all. I kept saying over and over, he is in print in there. He says the huge consensus is that it was, naturally occurring. That being said, I don't know. They should investigate it, right? I mean, so it's, but I never understood, Carlos, if it was a lab leak, who cares? Like, what's the difference? None of it is Fauci's fault.
Yeah, and again, they were doing gain-of-function research. Did they want to cover up the origins? Even if they wanted to do it, it's about how do you combat it. He was not wrong in his theories about how to combat. The rest of the world did this. The WHO, the World Health Organization.
But their theory is he created it on purpose, released it on the world on purpose. It's like, what?
One of the first things Trump did was to defund the security for that type of research.
Yeah.
So that we didn't have as much protection doing that gain-of-function research, because the Trump administration cut funding immediately.
He took our people out of Wuhan. This could have been. I've said this over and over. If Hillary were president, it is very likely we would not have been hit with COVID. We would have had our inspectors there on the ground in Wuhan.
If Gore were president, we would have been hitting on 9/11. So many good things that would have happened had not picky Democrats. And Ralph Nader voters and Jill Stein voters, look at what you wrought. All you had to do in a binary choice was pick something that was better.
Yeah.
Clearly better. And yes, there's no policy coming out of the Republicans. There's no, I'm going to give you affordable health care. There's no, I'm going to give you affordable housing. There's no, I'm going to give you new renewable energy. There's no jobs reports. There's nothing negative that's coming out. There's just a circus constantly because they have no policy.
You said that. Yep, the primary's over. It's a binary choice. You either save the hive or you hand the wasp spray to your killer. Yep. So that being said, vote for Lumberjack Guy. Here is Troy Jackson in Maine.
People wanted something, people to stand up for them. They've always wanted that. That's what I want. And, Trump made an argument that he was going to do that. But now it's buyer remorse across the state. I mean, the tariffs are killing, businesses across the state. Like I said, we've lost health care because of the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah. Carlos, by the way, since you brought that up about 9/11, I've said the same thing. That, and all this polling looks great for Democrats now. We're ahead literally on every issue except national security, which, first of all, makes me think like Trump's thinking, wouldn't that be something nice if something happened?
Flag.
Yeah, but I absolutely agree with you on 9/11 that we've had the worst national security failure in our history on a Republican's
Under George
watch.
Bush.
Thank you.
We handed over that intelligence with 6 months prior.
Yeah, very specific intelligence about Al Qaeda is going to fly buildings into places. Maybe like the World Trade Center. I mean, it was.
Yep.
So when Condi Rice said no one could have imagined, yes, if you would have read the intelligence and not said, oh, that was BJ guy Clinton, who cares what he's warned us about. I mean, I just never. I understand the mentality that we all were traumatized and came together, but I still am like, how is he not responsible for the worst security failure in our history? Republicans, they wreck the economy every time. They are not better on national security, right?
They're not better on national security or the economy or climate or anything. Again, talk about the world ending, the Colorado River. Let's tack that on, right? All these rivers are drying up. In '76, Carter puts solar panels on the White House, and Reagan takes them down.
Yeah.
So they're not good on national security. They're not good on jobs. They're not good on climate. What they are good at is creating a media circus. And this Iran war is a debacle.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the small numbers of service people that have died.
Yeah.
I think the numbers are bigger.
Yeah.
I think they're hiding them. There's no end in sight. When you saw Ossoff just totally tear apart Keg's breath, you said that their military wasn't capable.
Yeah.
That's what you told us. So,
yeah,
they can't get past this Iran war debacle. No new wars. I think that you need to bomb them because Iran. But I'm getting a Fred Bonnie. All right, let's start a war.
The Netanyahu to Barney Rubble's my favorite. Okay.
Well, Barney Rubble got married in Vegas over the weekend.
Oh, yes. Marjorie Taylor Greene. It looks like Barney Rubble. Does she not have a girlfriend that can tell her sleeveless is not her friend? Minutes after the hour. Cannot wait to talk to Dr. Doom, who is a close personal friend of Dr. Fauci. Have you ever watched I've been watching a series that lately that is covers the COVID years and all this stuff, and I thought, oh my God, we all have PTSD. It's just from these hearings. You have flashbacks to how awful it really was, and primarily because we had the worst response in the world. We had the worst outcomes in the world because of Donald Trump. And Dr. Fauci was the one trying to help, and now it's insane what we watched yesterday. Stephanie said Rand Paul is a failed mall optician and Nepo baby from whom I wouldn't even buy a pair of cheap reading glasses. Thank you.
Do we know he was a mall optician?
Yes. He was an unregulated
mall optician.
Eye doctor.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay, Malloy tweets on Russian TV, foreign policy experts explain why Putin supports Trump's because Trump will destroy America. Exactly. And just because I'm going to die mad about 2016 and also 2024, someone did a very long thread. I can't get to all of it, but it's just when you think of where we are. That's the other thing, Chris. You cannot believe anybody voted for him again after, let's just take one, not just January 6th, but then, yes, the COVID response and the disaster we lived through because of him.
It happened.
Yaw says of Kamala, she called for a ceasefire and the independence of Palestine at least 11 times in the campaign trail. She wrote a Medicare for All plan. She supports expanding the Supreme Court to 13 justices, is for ending the Electoral College, believes in statehood for Puerto Rico and D.C., supports women's reproductive rights, was the literal tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Act, clean energy, lower health care costs. This thread goes on and on. The help for first-time home buyers, blah, blah, blah. I can't. Sometimes I go to a world where we could have been. Lisa in North Carolina. Hello, Lisa. Go ahead.
Hey, do y'all remember why Dr. Fauci initially told us not to wear masks?
No.
No.
Because of the PPE shortage for health workers.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
That's why we were distancing.
Did everybody forget?
It was one cascading, disastrous, incompetent move after another by the Trump administration. You're absolutely right, Lisa. You can't even remember all of it. Somebody documented all of the things Trump said. I mean, Google it sometime. I mean, it's just insanity. All of the lies and disinformation and things he said, right? Just take that alone.
Yeah, he also donated a couple hundred of our ventilators to Russia.
Yeah. Oh, God, I remember that. Speaking of him being a Russian asset, yes, I remember that. Dear God. And so, this whole, what is this vaccine injury movement or whatever?
It's been around
It's insane.
It's been around since the beginning of the vaccine.
Okay. Here
Who didn't have a friend that took this vaccine and had some type of complication, a stroke, a blood clot, a young man getting some type of heart inflammation as well? That's what destroyed the trust in the American people for our government.
Okay. All of that has been debunked.
COVID itself was what caused heart problems.
Yes. Oh, God, Dr. Redlener will have to help us. I don't know. We were saying, I don't know if he could bear to watch yesterday. I mean, he likes to be informed, but Fauci is literally a close personal friend. I can't even imagine what he was thinking. But, oh, my God, to have to go through all of this again and talk about the effectiveness of vaccines and, and the, bullshittery of the whole vaccine injury, whatever. Oh, dear God. Do I have to listen to Jesse Waters? Okay.
When Fauci found out the vax didn't work the way it was supposed to, he didn't say anything. When the vax caused injuries, he covered it up. He got injured, blood clot. He didn't tell the public. All this is in his diary.
Oh, dear God. Okay.
Fauci wanted booster palooza. And Senator Ron Johnson discovered he was sabotaging treatments like ivermectin.
Oh, dear God, dear God. Oh, God, we have to do this all again. We will do it next with Dr. Erwin Redlener. Well, good morning to Kobe, the co-founder and CEO of my good friends at Chapter. He goes by one name like Cher because he's a rock star in the Medicare advising area. Good morning, Kobe.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I have to tell you, I usually lie about my age, but I am navigating the Medicare maze. And Ari, my Chapter advisor, has been fantastic. Talk a little bit about what Chapter is and how you developed it.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. Chapter is a Medicare navigation platform that ensures that seniors get the right Medicare plan for their needs. And importantly, we're not just about signing people up for a plan at the beginning. We're really trying to be there for their entire Medicare journey so that people can save money on prescriptions, find doctors who are in network, appeal bills and claims, and really provide this overall platform to help people navigate what is just such a complex part of their lives.
It really is. And also, to your point, stuff changes. Like your own health changes, your medications, Medicare plans change all the time. So, and we should understand this is an absolutely free service, right? It's a 20-minute call. And independent Medicare advisor means they're not paid to steer you to one plan or another, right?
That's right. It's free. There's no obligation. We don't charge for our services. We don't charge for anything we do. we do earn revenue from insurance carriers, but unlike every other Medicare advisor, and really why I started the company, is we've built a new model that allows us to be unbiased. So we look at every single Medicare option, and we recommend the plan that's right for each person, whether or not Chapter earns any money.
The big lie on my show is that I'm 44 years old, so I'm just going to disavow this whole conversation and say that I'm just doing a practice run 20 years early just so that I know what to do. But the word from this mouth is call Chapter 681-329-3164. I can't recommend it highly enough, or go to askchapter.org/Miller today and get the help that you need, right? Get a plan.
Here comes some Barack Hussein Obama judge.
I'm still, what is it?
No.
It's 2026. What am I still doing dealing with Barack Hussein Obama judges? That ain't fair. Hi, I'm Frances Callier.
And I'm Angela V. Shelton.
We are Frangela, and welcome to
0 sane days. Because we'll have 0. We've had 0 since he got into office. You ain't had half of one. You ain't had a tenth of one. 0.
And speaking of 0 sane days, did we all see what went down at the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Did you see that?
Of course.
Were you there for that crazy work?
Let me, first of all, it's like 38 pages. Okay. It was almost an hour. Like, it was ridiculous. I think it was an hour. And we could talk about a number. I mean, you could do a thesis. You could get a PhD on just looking at that. I can't call it a speech, that vomiting, that displacing of internal crazy and making it externally available crazy.
Absolutely.
But
and
I
I'm
thought
sure
there's some nuggets that we do need to address.
Absolutely. And here comes one of them.
It's becoming such a horrible and dangerous location that Ilhan Omar, one of my favorites, and her brother are thinking about moving together, very much in love. The video has surfaced recently of Ilhan giving a speech referring to World War II as World War XI.
First of all, get the woman's name right, okay?
Yeah. You know, I find it interesting that a man who has said, I believe more than once, that he would date his daughter because she's hot, if he could.
Keep that in mind with the rest of this.
I mean,
okay?
And they asked her about that. She thought she got it right. But I'm not surprised, because she's a low IQ person, and she's also a very dishonest person, and she ought to get the hell out of our country. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be in our country. She also calls her brother husband number one. Omar is reportedly being investigated for fraud. She revised her net worth. I was shocked to see that she was worth much more than $30 million.
Hold on. Did the man who has 34 counts of felonies,
thank you, an adjudicated rapist, sexual assaulter,
did he? I couldn't go another further, Angela.
Without the man who's made $2 billion since last year, since he got in office.
Thank you.
That man
is talking about fraud.
That man is talking about anybody else.
Sure. I want to make sure I understand, because I feel crazy.
No, but you name the other human being that he gets to critique. There's more crazy. Just another little dab. Just a dab.
You know, because you know what? Trump doesn't feel understood.
And the rogue judges, you don't have a chance in front of these people. If Obama puts in a judge, I don't care how good your case is, you barely have a chance of victory. And nobody suffers it like I do. I get an Obama judge. First thing, who appointed the judge? Barack Hussein Obama. Oh, that's a problem. And we will end no cash bail.
You know what kills me with Trump is this. He's like, you know what? I don't have a chance. With those Obama judges, because all they do is they're rogue and they're about the law. That's all they do is follow the law. Who
fair. I
deal with that?
only little tiniest violin in the world. He suffers. He suffers so much. It's so painful to be me. When I try to do authoritarian, illegal, unconstitutional things, here comes some Barack Hussein Obama judge.
I'm still, what is it?
No.
It's 2026. What am I still doing dealing with Barack Hussein Obama judges? That ain't fair.
And it's never Biden. I mean, I know Biden appointed some judges. I know he did.
You know why? Because that's how much Barack Hussein Obama is still holding it down. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you that these are two. This commentary is the kind of thing that makes me say, you know what, Angela, take a break and look what's going on with rich white men. How are they? Straight rich white men, are they getting their fair shake? Where's the group? Where's the NAACP for rich white men? Where is the National Association of Rich White Men?
You know what? We're going to ask those questions and more right here on Zero Sane.
Because there have been
zero.
And abjectly reduced to the ass-kissing of one man. And then when you die, other Republicans use your eulogy to continue the ass-kissing in a perpetual motion machine of chapped lips and lubricated cheeks.
Which is exactly what the Fauci show was all about.
Yeah.
We can't wait a minute more to talk to this guy. I'm going to get bad news I want from him because he's very handsome. Dr. Erwin Redletter joins us now. MSNBC medical expert. Dr. Erwin Redletter.
Here he became Dr. Doom.
Dr. Erwin Redletter is the founding director of the National Center for Disaster Preparedness and senior research scholar.
Dr. Doom.
Good doomy morning, Dr. Doom. Wow. Was I thinking of you all day yesterday? I know you're a close personal friend of Dr. Fauci's. You talk to him all the time. I agree with Senator Blumenthal. Said this is one of the darkest days in the history of the U.S. Senate. He ripped Republicans for being eager to rebrand Fauci as a villain. He said the hearing is a culmination of a years-long crusade that started 6 years ago when Dr. Fauci dared to contradict President Trump. I mean, again, a ridiculous show for one person, right, to try to rewrite history.
It is extraordinary, and some days on your show, Steph, I really, really wish it wasn't a family show, and we could talk, like me and you, kid, that kind of.
I said that an hour ago. Yes.
Yeah, it was a pretty disgraceful reminder that we're dealing with such an abnormal political world right now. And, I know things are looking optimistic for, at least for the House, for the midterms, but I don't know. My brother, the psychiatrist, called up today and said he's even worried about November. It is so insane what we're dealing with. And to watch hours and hours of these people led by Rand Paul denigrating the work of this really public health American hero, of which has been very, very, very few like him.
Yeah.
And it is extraordinary to me, the ignorance.
So, you said shame on Rand Paul conducting this ignorant witch hunt in an attempt to prove up made-up misdeeds he attributes to Dr. Fauci, one of America's most heroic public health scientists who has saved countless lives over his long career. Of course, stretching back to AIDS and you name it. And you said you spoke with him countless times during the worst years of COVID. I remember because that's when we met you and we're talking to you. And remember, we would be like,
exactly.
when you really I just hung up with Dr. Fauci. We'd be like, what? Tell us.
You made fun of me, didn't you? You
Name dropper. But you said he was always a meticulous communicator of science-based information and recommendations. What we were facing, a lethal virus we'd never seen before. It was a new deadly threat, and we were all learning in learning as we go mode. That's what scientists do, right? They take in new information about a new threat and process the information and give us the best information they have at the time, right?
Exactly. The one issue that I had with all of it in terms of communicating was that, and I told Fauci this, and every time I could get to the head of the CDC, I would tell Rachel, it's whatever her name was, I don't remember her now, but anyway, I would tell her, when you make an announcement, say this is what we know right now. It's ongoing research. It may change next week. We just don't know. But we're giving the best information we currently can depend on.
Yeah.
That is science, like you said, Steph. This is the whole point, and it's a novel disease, and we're learning about it.
Well, yeah. You
and
said
by the way, one of the things we learned was that vaccines work.
Oh God!
So in these MAGA states where they refused vaccines, the death rate was extraordinarily higher than in the states, blue states, where people were actually following public health and getting their shots and wearing masks. That's what we learned.
Well, and you said, of course, mistakes were made. This was science on the run, and experts were making their best recommendations based on the info they had at that very moment. And you said, and then there was the Trump factor. Every day, Fauci and his colleagues had to contend with inane, dangerous commentators and suggestions from the most ignorant president in American history. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, politically, I just asked Carl Frisch this, Doc. I'm like, do you want to remind America how disastrous? It's the reason he got thrown out of office in 2020. His response was so provably, statistically disastrous, right? And the disinformation was so dangerous and ridiculous, and bleach and UV light, and it's a hoax and blah, 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 right?
And yes, totally, and it hasn't stopped. Recently, there are reports of him being upset that Bobby Kennedy Jr. is not trying to eliminate even more vaccines. We're talking about lunacy, dangerous lunacy.
Yes, because he thinks autism rates will go down. I mean, that's why Bobby Kennedy isn't enough of a lunatic for him on childhood vaccines.
Right.
Right. Okay. Can I just say, our old friend Senator Bill Cassidy again, the doctor who voted for. It's like now a warning. Senator Cassidy, who has repeatedly criticized Trump's administration over health issues, slammed the CDC over a website related to autism and vaccines. He said it's not evidence-based claims. It is not an evidence-based claim that vaccines cause autism. He said that's what gives some parents hesitancy regarding having their children vaccinated. I mean, again, these people.
By the way,
go ahead.
It's nuts. What I was going to say was, do you know what this does to the parents of children who actually have autism? It establishes insane guilt for no reason other than stupidity.
Good friends with autistic kids, and this is exactly what I said. It makes their pain even worse, like, oh, it's your fault. Cassidy said outright, it's been firmly established vaccines do not cause autism. Well, then why did you vote for the guy that says they do? Right, in Bobby Kennedy.
Why? And Cassidy, I kind of respect that he's taken a sort of a principled position, but he's doing it at the wrong time. The time to do that was when they had to raise his hand and vote yay or nay for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be Secretary of HHS, and he caved.
Yep.
He caved to the president, to Trump, who punished him anyway by primarying him.
And, here we are in the middle of cyclospora, measles outbreaks, and, this is the thing you and I always talked about, this disinformation that is going to kill people. And Trump Trump again did a long thing about Fauci. He made too many bad calls, like on masks. Remember at the beginning he was an anti-masker, then he switched to super-masker. In any event, I didn't let him shut the country down, although he wanted to. Like, it is just like January 6th. I'm just rewriting history, right?
Oh, it is, it's part of his whole MO, and we're going to live or die by what he's doing now. And by the way, the same thing is happening, of course, in the Middle East with this insanity with Iran. And everywhere we look, Donald Trump has created traps for Americans to fall into. Health, war, the economy. It is a mess. It is fantastic.
Doc, I just one example, because we talked about this all through COVID, just this disinformation that people are going to hear on Fox News. So Harris Faulkner, who's on Fox News, said of Fauci, this man literally lied to us, caused those of us who are responsible to the public to say what he was saying was true. So, what next? We didn't even learn from 1918. 50 million people died from the Spanish flu. They never closed New York City schools. This guy. Yeah, we can vilify him on Capitol Hill, but I'm telling you, this can't happen again. We need to make an example out of him. It's hard to. Can you just go through how dumb that entire thing is?
Oh no!
No.
Oh.
I've stunned you. I thought you froze, but
the problem is it is so dumb. You know, when somebody says something, you know, you go outside, you say, the sun is shining, and it's actually raining. It's not a discussion to be had. It's like you're kind of looking at the person. You just want to slap the crap out of them,
right?
Which is really where we are with these people, and
it seems like
it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
So
There's too
was
much
that a good
of it.
thing that 50 million people died? It was just because the schools weren't closed. So that, I mean, it's like people going, "Oh, we don't have those diseases anymore," right? Because we had a vaccine and we eradicated it.
They were talking about eliminating polio vaccine.
Oh my God,
Stephanie, they had that conversation.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
So, Tommy Tuberville, Senator Tuberville said we need to imprison Fauci for killing millions. Also, he's not aware. He says when he's governor, he's going to put him in prison, which can't do that. Governor can't prosecute anyone. Florida Attorney General said announced a state investigation into Dr. Fauci yesterday. Ron DeSantis said he can't claim the fifth since he received a preemptive pardon by Biden. That's wrong legally. But anyway, DeSantis says only a state attorney general prosecutor can bring a case due to his pardon. It would require either a state AG or local state attorney to bring a case, which would need to establish violations of state law as well as personal jurisdiction over the defendant. I imagine like all these ridiculous lawsuits, this isn't going anywhere, but what a ridiculous waste of time.
Welcome to whack-a-mole when the moles are winning. You know, and this is the problem. There's too many of them. You know, it's like I don't even know how you pick out what you want to talk about in your hours of show every day, because there's an avalanche of stuff like this in every sector.
Believe me, we know this. We discuss that every single day before the show. It's like, how do we...
Or like Rand Paul, like, he's psychotically obsessed with Dr. Fauci. Do you have any idea what this is about? He dresses down Dr. Fauci for aiding and abetting the crime of lockdowns. He threatened repercussions for invoking his constitutionally guaranteed, for taking the fifth, which, Trump and countless other Republicans have done, right? Have you talked? When's the last time you've talked to Dr. Fauci? How is he doing with all of this? How does he endure this?
It's been a number of months, and he was sick for a good long time, and second of all, this is very depressing to him. You're talking about 5 decades of total service, and before he instituted programs and research that saved millions of lives from HIV/AIDS. Before that, he was focused on the fact that there were some unusual diseases that weren't getting the attention they needed. He focused research on that, and millions of people benefited from that work even before AIDS. So the guy is a lifetime of public service. And he's getting vilified by people that are way too stupid and vengeful to even sit in the same room with him. So that's all I have to say on this matter. And Ron Paul, it's horrifying what he's done.
Yeah,
Rand Paul.
It's just a
Ron
bunch
Paul was a decent kind of guy, actually.
It's just a bunch of stunts. So you saw the part where he threw Anthony Fauci, Dr. Fauci's lawyer, out of the room. One of the senators said they'd like to hear from. Obviously there were legal grounds for him taking the fifth. But I swear to God, it's just like it's a reality show for one person, for Trump, right? To just be as rude and disrespectful as you possibly can to this esteemed public servant.
Trump opened the door to a level of discourse that is so inappropriate. It'd be inappropriate in a social setting, and he spouts this garbage from the Oval Office, from the sort of the sacred place where the country was founded. And he sits there like a moron And that prize-winning photo of him standing there like a zombie when a guy had collapsed in the office. This tells the tale, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Actually, did you say the Sacred Oval Office? It looks kind of like a, Thai restaurant, strip club, something in there now, but okay. Yes, technically the space itself. We get all that tacky gold off of there. Doc, thanks. I can't imagine. You're right. Tell your friend Dr. Fauci that we send our love and light, and we are so sorry.
Yeah.
And we thank him for his
I'm
lifetime of service.
He deserves better than this.
Yeah.
He deserves way
Please
better.
thank him for all of us in the sane-based world, okay?
the whole country deserves better than this. Yes, but Fauci certainly does.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Doc.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right. 20
in
minutes.
Radio Land. I'll see you next week. Yep.
20 minutes after the hour.
By the way, I'm so happy that Jack Reacher is, a sensible human being who has empathy and understands what's going on in the world. Because he was one of those guys where I'm like, all right, well, he could swing either way. Just looking at him, he could be
I like these
QAnon MAGA, or he could be reasonable.
I like these maggots. I like to see him say all this stuff to his face.
Right.
Right?
Well, he went to high school with Matt Gaetz and hated him back then. They hated each other.
So he got an early start.
Exactly.
And figuring out who the bullies are.
Right.
I mean, God bless him. I love what he said. We played this, I think, Chris, last week. He said, people, I think, are a little bit afraid of me because they're like, he's a loose cannon. And I'm not. I'm just saying that everybody should say if they gave up about humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, saying you're not political now in the biggest moral crisis of our time just seems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
of course. And it's one of those things always, going back to what I was saying a second ago, which is almost like when you were dating and you would go out on a date with someone and you would try to ascertain whether they were a smoker. And because I was also a smoker for many stupid years.
Yeah.
And that was always the thing. When can I reveal that I'm a smoker?
Yeah.
So when I hear a celebrity stepping out and expressing opposition to Donald Trump, I'm like, oh, thank goodness he's a smoker.
Oh, thank God.
That's great. So finally, I can agree with this person and like this person. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. He just said, look at the politics we deal with right now. Like the White House is in ruins. There's a UFC cage on the lawn. Like it's just the stuff that we're all going like WTF, So that thing we just
every
played
day.
about him raping the world. He's only out for himself, obviously. And speaking of making all the right people mad, Kevin Sorbo had thoughts.
Oh God.
And they always say the same thing. Conservatives say he has Trump derangement syndrome. So anyone that thinks like any of this is wrong has Trump derangement, right? So, Kevin Sorbo said, you'd think he'd be smart enough to keep his mouth shut. Gosh, I think the same thing about you, Kevin, but okay. Dean Cain, who, last I saw him, did eat several of the original Supermen, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He offered Alan Rich some Trumpanol, take the whole bottle. He said, oh, boy, they just think they're so clever.
Oh, my God. So Dean Cain is just gnawing on Christopher Reeve's arm or something. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I saw a video.
He's put on a few LBs, is what I'm saying.
Right. Well, this is obviously not the most important thing happening in the world, but I saw a video on Instagram of Jim Brewer.
Oh, God.
MAGA comedian Jim Brewer, questioning whether Donald Trump staged the Butler assassination attempt. And actually saying it, straight up, that Donald Trump may have staged that assassination attempt.
Yeah.
And I was shocked and dismayed that Jim Brewer would be divorcing himself from the club over that issue.
Yeah.
So strange.
Hilarious.
Yes, weird times.
It is, right? The people you'll go, and then you realize who you're saying. You're like, oh, that's Nick Fuentes. I just said, that was Marjorie Taylor Greene I just agreed with.
Right. Jim Brewer is the goat boy in the coal mine, so to speak. Maybe he's indicative of MAGA abandoning ship.
Oh, boy. Oh, all right. Oh, by the way, speaking of superheroes like Jack Reacher, thank you for saying that I have was it superhero sinew strength when I pulled your yam sack out of the brambles on the bike path?
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
I was I am not a wrestling guy, but I suddenly in the middle of my show quoted Gorilla Monsoon from the 1980s. Who used to compliment, less muscular wrestlers as saying, oh, that wrestler has sinew strength. And I was like, well, Stephanie has sinew strength because she yanked my gigantic body out of the gully, out of the brambles.
Tell me your stats again, because it always makes me hot. You are how tall now?
I am 6'4", 220.
That's what I said yesterday, just like Donald Trump.
Right, exactly like Donald Trump. Yes.
And I'm 5'7", I'm 5'7", $110, and I just
we have
grab
to wear
that yam
different
sack.
clothing. We have to wear different clothing just so people can tell us apart. That's how.
Yes.
Got to make sure we do that.
So you reposted. Brian Kilmeade said, "Are you worried the tariffs put forward over the last couple of days will hurt the economy?" Trump, no, because it's bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars. And so you said, to be clear, he's talking about tax revenue seldom framed this way on cable news, but he's talking about higher taxes on American businesses and consumers generating obvious revenue from the federal government. Every tariff is a tax hike on Americans. Donald is a tax and spend fascist. That's a great way to put it.
Stephanie Miller.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. 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 Okay, hey, Tony from Georgia with an interesting thought, Chris.
All right.
Staff, what will MAGA do when we find out Mitch McConnell is dead and Lindsey Graham is alive and is transitioning to a woman named Darlene? I think that's very plausible.
Well,
could happen to today's Republican Party. You just never know. Okay. By the way, did you see Ron Johnson in his "I know you are, but what am I" moment with Dr. Fauci yesterday? He said, "Did you literally lie to your own diary? Why are you hitting yourself?" Yes, Dr. Fauci lied to his own diary. Why? Are we getting contact dumb? I think I am.
Yeah, no.
I need to talk
Ron
to
Johnson is dumb.
I need to talk to Lisa, who is in fact a clinical lab scientist. Hello, Lisa. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, we believe in science here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a clinical lab scientist. I work at Glendale Adventist Medical Center.
Oh, thank you.
And I worked there through the pandemic. And I just want to thank Dr. Fauci for all he's done for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. For 85 years old, this man should be getting rest.
Absolutely.
And not getting badgered by idiots. Okay, Audrey in Chicago. Hello, Audrey. Welcome.
Hello, Stephanie and the Mooks.
Hello.
I just want to take note of this. At least give my perspective. Being black and female all my life. If you recall, Thom Hartmann occasionally mentions this infamous statistician. I think his name is Friedrich Hoffman. And that guy comforted the former slave owners by telling them that if they just deny health care to black people, then black people would die off within a few generations. We wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I think these people who are attacking Fauci and others who want Medicare for all, who are doing their best to keep people, alive, they're attacking them because they're still waiting for that horrible promise to be fulfilled. Now, if you recall, back in March 2020, most of the nation shut down. But then this article was published in early April of 2020 that said that blacks and Hispanics were dying at disproportionately higher rates from COVID-19. And I think they're mad at Dr. Fauci for doing the life-saving thing instead of letting us die off because they hoped that they had found, shall we say, their Negro killer. And
Audrey, Jared
Kushner
was on record as saying, "Oh, it's only people in blue states, so who cares?" Yeah, they absolutely, like Carlos said yesterday, this has not been the United States of America since Donald Trump is in.
No, not
I mean,
at all.
look at his latest cutting off all aid to states, the blue states. Insane. 29 minutes after the hour. Jojo from Jers coming up. With the warmer weather here, you're spending more time outdoors, which means more sunshine and more reasons to take care of your skin. Most of you are doing way too much when it comes to skincare. Too many bottles, too many steps, not enough results. I prefer something that actually works. Here it is. That's why I use Vibrance Super C Serum every day. It's an all-in-one hydrating serum that targets wrinkles, age spots, and other signs of aging. It's made with high-quality vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, vitamin B5, and E to help your skin looking healthier, more hydrated, more vibrant. Super C Serum replaces that whole clutter of day cream, eye cream, night cream, and more in one simple step. Simplify your skincare routine like I do with Vibrance Super C Serum. If you don't love it, they'll give you a refund within the first year. Go to Vibrance.com/Stephanie, save up to 37% off, and get free shipping. That's spelled Vibrance, Vibrance.com/Stephanie. Gling!
Hi, and welcome back. Just 906 days left to go in our countdown to liberty. Today from the Oval Office, Donald Trump announced sweeping plans to renovate Dulles Airport, making it one of the most beautiful airports in the entire world. How long do you think it's going to be before he renames it Trump Airport? Just a thought. You know it's coming. Meanwhile, he said it's time for him to hit back at Iran. You got to smack him around a little bit. Definitely had to smack him around. Of course, he told Trey Yingst on Fox News that he was going to beat the living shit out of him, or beat the fucking shit out of him, one of the two, and that always goes over well internationally. And finally, and most importantly, Dr. Fauci is now, according to the Donald Trump administration, entirely responsible for the COVID outbreak. Yes, that lost Donald Trump the election in 2020. It's all Fauci's fault. We heard, of course, it was Obama's, Biden's, now Fauci's fault. Never mind the fact that Donald Trump didn't want to test, couldn't get tests, and kept people from getting tested. But that's not a big problem. It's all Fauci's fault. Just another day in the life of the United States. Only the best. We're a hot country. Hot, hot. It is hot. There's no such thing as climate change, though. See you next time.
Oh, hello. Did you know brushing your hair stimulates your scalp, promoting growth, distributes natural oils from root to tip, and can even reduce breakage? The only thing is, with regular use, bristles become worn, buildup gets harder to clean, and you end up throwing your entire brush away, right? However, Bristle Beauty designed the last hairbrush you will ever need. Meet the Forever Brush, a universal brush with replaceable bristles. One brush forever. Simple, beautiful, and built to last. When your bristle pad starts to wear, simply snap in a fresh set, no waste, no fuss. The flexible bristles are gentle and suitable for most hair types, or even hair extension friendly. That's me. Join the replacement bristle pad subscription and get fresh pads delivered to your door on your schedule. Right now, when you buy a Forever Brush starter set and a replacement bristle pad subscription using promo code Stephanie, you receive your first 2 replacement bristle pads absolutely free. Visit BRISSLEbeauty.com. That's BRISSLE, and use that promo code Stephanie at checkout.
Come to accept the most monstrous shit, where they keep bombing people on fishing boats in the Caribbean and the Pacific, and it doesn't even make news anymore. It doesn't make news anymore. What has to happen is a lot of these people have to go to prison. That's what has to happen. Trump needs to go to prison. Stephen Miller needs to go to prison. Elon Musk needs to go to prison. It's all the ICE Gestapo thugs need to go to motherfucking prison. Bovine Boy needs to go to prison. Hamhead Homan needs to go to prison.
Hamhead Homan.
He does look like a giant canned ham.
Yes.
I think we said that first.
I think so.
All right. God bless Kyle Kalinske. He's like my anger translator because I can't say any of those words on the radio. But here. Here, by the way, we're reminded of the massive incompetence of the Trump administration during COVID. That's the good news is we have to be thankful for their massive incompetence. Trump fumed about a recent Supreme Court ruling, the birthright citizenship ruling, but he appears to look like he has missed a deadline to appeal. So his normal whiny baby running to the Supreme Court failed because he's an incompetent boob.
That's because he's too busy asking the Supreme Court to rehear the E. Jean Carroll case.
Oh, God. And in
which he's going to lose.
Thank you. In a related... speaking of losing... Trump's DOJ suffered its 18th defeat with no wins. That would be no terror the four divided by 0 to 0.
Yeah.
In its nationwide voter data crusade Wednesday, when a federal judge dismissed the department's lawsuit seeking Jersey's unredacted voter rolls. We will talk to JoJo from Jersey about that, her home state.
Yep.
Okay, you keep trying. Christopher, who said... of the British Prime Minister. He's got energy problems. They got windmills all over the place. Anytime you see windmills, you see a failing country, and they're made in China, not used by China, but they're made in China. You've got a thing called the North Sea, and he told me he'll open up the North Sea for oil.
Captain Caveman.
Okay. I believe China leads the world in wind energy production, but I don't thought I would. Okay, let's go ahead.
So my answer was wrong.
China. Paul in Seattle. Hi, Paul. Welcome. Hello, Paul.
Well, I don't care. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
I don't care what Rand Paul says about Dr. Fauci, but Donald Trump and his virus killed my 94-year-old dad. That's the way I feel. That was 5 years ago. My dad had no health problems. He was still walking 4 miles a day, still cutting his own lawn. He'd be 99 years old this year. We'd still have him.
Yeah.
But here's the weird thing, too. He was not against the vaccines. He was kind of really jazzed about it. They're coming out. But all the Republican propaganda saying that, the vaccine's worse than the disease. He said, 94, I don't have any problems. I don't want to introduce any. Yeah. But then he got COVID, and he just, Steph, that generation, he thought it was just the flu, touched the flu.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that bad for the first couple of days. And then about the third or fourth day, oh, boy, did he get really sick. And finally he collapsed on his own kitchen floor while my sister was trying to cook him breakfast. And that's the last time he ever stood on his own two legs.
Yeah, Paul,
he went to the ICU.
All of us have these stories. There's a million of us that died. So we all know someone that we love that got it, that nearly died of it, or that did die of it.
Right.
I remember my mom had to go. She had Alzheimer's, Paul, and she had to go in a nursing home. Unfortunately, it was right when the COVID lockdowns happened. So there she is, not knowing why no one can come visit her. I mean, it was a horrible time for all of us. People had to die alone, suffocate to death in hospitals without their loved ones.
Yeah, and that's why it's so offensive when people like Ron Johnson and Tommy Tuberville say that it's the vaccine that killed all these people rather than the virus itself. That is the height.
Yeah, and it's the disinformation that we're going to have to keep dealing with, and we do, and measles and all of this stuff that's that's going to keep happening because of this stupid anti-vax disinformation. I told you I've lost the only friend I've lost in like years and years and years, and God love her, she's a good friend for years, but she was anti-vax lunatic, and I just couldn't. Unfortunately, it was a point in our history. It was actively killing people. She was putting out disinformation, and also it divided so many of us, Chris. Because first of all, I couldn't invite her here. I had a big birthday party. No one I knew wanted to be around someone that wasn't vaccinated, and then she had that insane vaccine shedding theory that we were shedding vaccine, so she couldn't be near. And I'm like, how are you going to have a relationship with your friends and family when you're engaging in this lunacy? Right. Jerry in Calgary, God, it's giving us PTSD talking about COVID again. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. By the way,
good morning.
Hello, Jerry. Now I was going to say
this is everybody?
This is how you realize why solitary confinement is a punishment, because you know how much we were alone. Yeah. If you were single during COVID, oh my God, you were alone 24/7 for what was it, 2 years? Oh my God, like a massive psychological experiment we went through. Hey, Jer, sorry, got me going now.
Hi, no problem. Thank you very much. I worked as a police officer in Canada, and I did for 31 years. I was in the COVID mess, and yeah, there were people that did have adverse reactions to the virus, but as many of you have just said, so many of us that didn't take or didn't have a chance to have the vaccine, did have difficulties, and some of them passed away.
Yes,
and I mean, we listen.
The vast
what's
majority
happening in the
passed
United
away.
States of America. We listen to that, and there were lots. We had a lot of protests, and there's people that got prison time for protesting against what was trying to be done. But I mean, I went to Australia, and we got off the jet, and we had going over to our son's place in Melbourne, and by gosh, the guy that was driving us on the Uber, he had and thank goodness we had the vaccine. But we got there, and all of us, the whole house, we couldn't even walk outside the door. They would have arrested you and put you in jail.
Yeah.
So,
Australia was really, really, really strict. They were probably the most strict.
Right, and that's why they had the lowest cases. I recall my best friend lives there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was having trouble following that. I probably have brain fog from having had COVID twice. Okay, I'm going to blame that. Mike in Chicago. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Steph. The worst thing yesterday is how Rand Paul had his lawyer removed.
Yeah.
Even during the McCarthy hearings, Joe McCarthy never had the Rosenberg's lawyer removed.
Right.
And as far as that idiot Harris Faulkner, the 1918 Spanish flu, they never closed down schools. Yeah, idiot. It's because it mostly killed people 20 to 40, where all we had to look at was the polio pandemic in 1919, and it affected young people, so we closed down schools. But she's too stupid to even mention that.
I've been saying that for a long time. Harris Faulkner is way too stupid to have her own show on Fox News. Serious. No, I mean, if you see some of the crap that she says, that she puts out there as fact,
I try to, I don't watch it a lot. Sometimes I'll look at clips so I know what's...
Right.
But you know what's so funny? I can even tell, because sometimes I get stories from foxnews.com.
Sure.
Just because so I know what the spin is.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw this story. But you can tell this is like, they're trying to make the liberal the boogeyman here, as this is what Fox does. Wisconsin brewery that offered free beer when Trump dies says alcohol permit is revoked. First of all, this is a free speech thing. Second of all, they didn't say his name.
No.
And again, businesses have a right to do whatever they want. They didn't say he should be killed. They didn't go over a line like that. But this is like, the way Fox News frames this. But a Wisconsin brewery known for anti-Trump social media posts, including one promising free beer upon the death of Donald Trump, has had its permit to operate in the state revoked by state officials. I don't know how they can do that, right? I mean, again, if it were promoting violence. But they don't even, how like you see a lot of those posts, like everyone knows who they're talking about, but you don't even say the name. Just make sure you have champagne chilled for when the big day gets here. So, blah, blah, blah. The liberal activist and brewery owner, Kirk Bengstad, is vowing to fight tooth and nail after receiving a letter from the revoking his Minocqua. Am I saying that? We know them. We know these folks. Minocqua Brewing Company's permit to operate.
Yeah, we've actually done business with them.
In Wisconsin. He said, as you can imagine, I'm not taking this lying down. We're going to fight the state of Wisconsin tooth and nail. And once again, they'll have to pry me out of my tap rooms before I stop selling beer to thirsty progressive who come to visit us.
They're the ones who did that woke coffee drink that we promoted.
Yes, they don't want government involved, right, in businesses unless, you're liberal and saying something they don't like. And then it's like, really, you're going to revoke a liquor license over saying, I mean, again, how does that not fall in the First Amendment? All right. I need some James Tallarico, please. Thank you.
Here we go.
The fight in this country is not really left versus right. It is top versus bottom. It's all of us, whether you're a little more conservative or a little more progressive. It's all of us coming together to take on the people at the top, the billionaires and their puppet politicians like Ken Paxton, who have been screwing us over for far too long.
So we're taking on the tops?
You know what? You just made resting gay face. Like an immature scallywag that you are. You know that he didn't mean that. It was income inequality about tops and bottoms.
So he's saying we need fewer tops.
Stop. Now you have active gay face. Okay. Rosie O'Donnell.
We're not wondering if fascism is arriving. Fascism has arrived, and it's here.
and they announced that they were sending ICE out in large numbers on Election Day. Are you kidding me? That this administration announced that publicly, didn't have to deny it, and the news media just goes, well, it's very interesting. Apparently, they're going to be sending ICE out on Election Day. Not holy what the has happened to our country.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right. And one last one, Mehdi Hassan, on Trump's approval ratings.
His approval ratings are the lowest of any president at this point in their presidency. Part of the reason is because he posts unhinged nonsense. Part of the reason is because he comes across as a crazy person, as a sociopath often. And part of the reason, obviously, is he's failed on his pledges. You know, gas prices are up, inflation's up, etc.
I know these polls are all kind of the same, but historically they are kind of stunning. So a record high 73% of U.S. adults say Trump hasn't paid enough attention to the country's most important problems. Just 27% saying he has the right priorities. Roughly 2/3 of Americans think his policies have worsened economic conditions. His military decisions in Iran have hurt the U.S. His overall approval rating in this one is 34. I saw another poll, he was at 32, I think. Within his own party, his approval ratings hit a new low of 78%. Right? You're still like, oh boy. And just 19% of Republicans, though, say they're enthusiastic about the rest of his second term. I'm enthusiastic about it ending as soon as possible.
Who are the 22% that still support him?
Right. I think this is all great.
Right.
Nearly half of Americans surveyed think the U.S. Should arrest Netanyahu, according to a new poll. Again, this is kind of... yeah, stunning, you have to say. They were asked if the U.S. should enforce the ICC's warrant for Netanyahu's arrest. 49% answered yes, 27% said no. You know, it's interesting how that's not becoming some radical position now.
It's mainstream.
And then the other part of the polling, the current Congress is among the oldest in U.S. history, a trend that's expected to accelerate, especially in the Senate. A majority of Americans now see the size of the over 70 caucus as a major problem, want to see more transparency around elected officials' health. That may be because of the fact that Mitch McConnell is
dead.
Correct. And Chuck has anyone put a mirror in front of Chuck Grassley anytime?
He's 92.
Soon, or is he?
I can't believe he's 92.
But the double standard, right? It's just Biden's old, Biden's old, Biden's old. And then they have these fossils there. I mean, Mitch McConnell, how often has he been freezing, falling down? I mean, this is not like this just happened, this thing where he now became...
falls on his back. And
when he became...
dead.
Thank you.
His legs are...
Sam, I'm sorry. What's the medical condition? Mitch McConnell is technically dead. Okay. But is he most sincerely dead?
Really most sincerely dead.
Okay. I think we need to ask someone from the Wizard of Oz whether he is in fact most sincerely
As
dead.
corridor.
That's what we need. We need the coroner
The Munchkin
from Munchkin
coroner.
Land. That's how the only way you know when someone is really sincerely
really,
dead.
Yeah, most sincerely
Because
dead.
it could be Princess Bride. Like maybe he's sort of dead and they're dragging him around and he'll be, brought back to life.
Well, wasn't there a parrot in Monty Python that was...
yes.
That was dead?
Yes.
He's like almost dead.
Okay, that's just fun to do. Do it at home. Okay, 47.
Do it in your car.
All right, 47 minutes after the hour. You said Trump's Iran war is now 150 days old. It's not over yet. Corporate media gives him a pass every day.
Yep.
That is my point, is, just speaking out about corporate media. And you wrote a great piece about a White House Correspondents' Dinner. Talk about that a little bit, because it's all of a piece of corporate media and how we got here, right?
Look, we have a war going on for 4 or 5 months, and it's a legal war, and corporate media barely asks questions because Trump gets mad. And Air Force One, he will mock them, and they don't want to be mocked, and they don't want to lose access. That was the big thing that I wrote about, and I think everyone gets that at this point. They don't want to lose access. It's part of their business model. It's part of their self-identity, hanging out in the White House and the White House briefing room and all that kind of stuff. And the result is we lose a media doing the job of holding those in power accountable. Their job in the media, especially the White House, is hold the feet to the fire. Press them, make them uncomfortable. Do follow-up questions. Instead, it's like 1 question from a real journalist and then 8 from the Daily Wire.
Yeah.
And like ridiculous things from some blog that wrote something nice about Trump for 6 years is like there. You're like, who are you? What are you doing? Why do you got a hat on? Why is Tim Pool here? What's happening in this world? This is the world we live in. That's what's going on. So Donald Trump has so manufactured the coverage of himself And corporate media is about the bottom line. So
Yeah,
that's a big part of it.
we were expressing the hope earlier that when he says, "Who are you with?" just one reporter says, "D's nuts."
That would be very funny. That would make the person famous. I like
But
that.
to your point, you said once again, seeing corporate media using the DNC's internal issues as an excuse to run more articles, Democrats in disarray. In reality, that's a DNC problem, not a Democratic base problem. Democrats are organizing on our own without the DNC, and we're ready to win on November 3rd. I was saying I had. Cliff Schechter on last week, who does not like Al Sayed in Michigan, and so I am an anti-Muslim bigot, and now I'm having you on today, so I will be called a Jew hater for the rest of this week, because that's how things roll these days.
That's how they go. Although Haley Stevens is not Jewish, so I'm not sure.
Right,
Yes,
right.
I don't know.
But the idea of, I mean, which one do you want me to address first?
Right,
whatever
yeah,
you
that-
want to address.
Yeah, no, I was saying, the only thing I express is I liked Mallory McMorrow because I know her, and I've been to a fundraiser for her, and I thought she's a fighter, and I don't know the other two candidates. I don't care who wins. I don't get a vote in Michigan, and I get that Cliff has strong feelings about, and I don't know what your thoughts are on, but again, neither you or I get a vote in Michigan, but what are your
Right. I'm very pro Cliff Schechter, generally. I like Cliff Schechter. I'm on record. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. Look, I mean, I had Mallory on my show.
Yeah.
I've known Abdul for years. I knew him when he ran for governor. I mean, we're not close, but I've had him on my show over the years, and we've had functions together. Look, this is a very classic, he's very progressive, running on Medicare. He's not DSA, but he's very progressive Democrat. Medicare for all, get big money out of politics, very pro-Palestinian. And Haley Stevens is much more of a, I don't think centrist Democrat's the right word. It's just more status quo in a way. He wants to bring back ACA subsidies, not for Medicare for all, not really outspoken on big money in politics, very pro-Israel. So it's a stark choice for people. And all we know is we have to beat Mike Rogers. We have to win that seat come November, no matter what. So I hope that we can unite. I'm glad that the candidates have not gotten too personal. People have tried to make it personal. It is not. Some of the supporters have made it personal. And that's been distressing because we have to unite. We have to be united going into November in Michigan.
I've often said I don't live in New York City, but I would have voted for Mandami, and I think he's doing an amazing job. But again, my choice was Andrew Cuomo. I mean, here in LA, I'm a Mayor Bass fan. I've known her for years. I've known her, since she was on the short list for vice president. She was a great congresswoman for us, and all of that. So, Chris is for Neither Raman because he's a wild-eyed communist. But every race is going to be different. I don't have a vote in Michigan. I don't. I'm a big. I'm a big Jasmine Crockett fan. That being said, James Tallarico's up like 5 points this morning. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, wow, that's very exciting. Look, we have to be very. The primary is where you have a fight, and it's going to be passionate. People are going to say things people don't like. That's how it works. Politics is not fun. It's mean at times. It's about power. When this is over, we have to unite. I like Abdul because I'm very progressive, right? So I line up with him, and I know him, and he's a very nice guy. I have nothing against Haley Stevens as a person. I've never interacted with her. If she's a nominee, I don't like some of her votes on Israel, but that's life. We'll deal with it. We have to win. We have to defeat Mike Rogers when this is over. So it's going to be a close race, and the general is going to be very close there.
Yeah.
I can assure you, Trump won the state by a little over a point in 2024. It went the other way in 2020. We have to win that state.
You said Trump's Iran war is now 150 days old. It's not. All right, JoJo from Jers coming up in for Dana next hour for the whole hour. How exciting is that?
I love it.
Ice cream for breakfast. Okay. Sue in Rockville. Hey, Sue, how do you do?
I do fine, and I want to say I agree with Chris 1,000%. You were spot on about Harris Faulkner.
See, I can't stand her.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote a post years ago when I first saw her calling her a political prostitute and saying she will say or do anything for money,
absolutely.
as is true for most of those Fox women.
Yeah.
And Raw Stories quoted me in an article.
Did you?
And holy moly, the MAGA trolls came out in force.
Yep.
But I stand by it then, and I stand by it now, and you are 100% correct.
Did you see Laura Ingraham back there with her mean girl burn book snarl behind Dr. Fauci? Just like,
well, another thing with Harris Faulkner, too, is that she clutches her pearls anytime a liberal says a bad word. But she had not one damn thing to say about Bernie Moreno yesterday.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Not one.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
I can't, seriously.
The hypocrisy is just off the chart.
Not just that he's swearing, but the guy that beat his daughter up, he has nothing to say about.
Right.
And Dr. Fauci, he swears at and is some sort of villain. It's gross. They're gross. They're just gross. Mike in Detroit. There you are. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
I'll be real quick. Just two things. One, I was going to mention why I get so angry about people going after Fauci. I come from a big family. My dad died of cancer during COVID, and we had a funeral, and we split up in the funeral. It was like spread apart. Half my family is anti-vax, thought it was going to kill you, and half of us aren't. Literally, at one point, the half that it wasn't vaxxed, I had my mom, my aunt, 2 brothers, and a sister all in the hospital on ventilators, and the half that were vaxxed were perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And my mom ended up dying from it. So I'm like, this guy tried to save lives, and to hear people go after him, it infuriates me.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. And, I guess they aren't counting, Chris, in this little, dog and pony show they did yesterday, that there's millions of people like Mike.
Yeah.
And people that lost loved ones to this nonsense. Sue was talking about Senator Bernie Moreno, Republican of Ohio, lost it on Anthony Fauci during this hearing yesterday, and he said, "Who do you think you were?" in reference to COVID lockdowns. And by the way, Dr. Fauci didn't order them. He can only advise as a scientist. Right. What the scientific consensus is.
Ordered them.
Thank you. So I asked Dr. Fauci if he thought he was in deep. Ooh, he said another bad word, Harris Faulkner. Ooh, I hope you have enough pearls to clutch. Based on his pleading the fifth and bringing lawyers with him. Why wouldn't you bring lawyers to this obvious vindictive prosecution, right? He said there's an article here in the Washington Free Beacon. Is that some right-wing rag, I'm guessing? Okay.
It's not. I don't subscribe to it, so I don't know.
Yes, that talks about why would you hire a guy like him? The comment is if you're in deep, that's who you'd call Fauci's lawyer. Do you feel like you're in deep? Moreno went off on Fauci and asked members of the audience to stand up if they have faced pushback or lost their jobs during the pandemic. They're trying to replicate the Pam Bondi Epstein moment, which was just ridiculous. All right, JoJo from Jers next.
Donald Trump has a fascinating little party trick. Call him a rapist, he'll threaten to sue you. Call him a fraud, lawsuit. Question his business, lawsuit. Hurt his feelings, congratulations, you're about to finance another lawyer's vacation home. But call him a pedophile protector to his face, suddenly this man achieves the emotional equilibrium of a Buddhist monk who just finished a 6-month silent retreat. January, Dearborn. A worker on the Ford factory floor yells at him. Trump flips him off. Last month, Pennsylvania. Another guy skips protector altogether and just goes straight for the noun, and Trump does nothing. Yesterday, in Michigan, third guy. Same accusation. Trump looks over and calls him a communist.
He's a communist. He's a communist. He's a communist. We're running against communists. Now, this is great.
Right, because the classic warning signs of communism are hammer and sickle, state-controlled economies, mandatory collectivization, and confronting powerful people who protect pedophiles. That's the rebuttal? That's the strategy? Your Honor, opposing counsel has accused my client of protecting pedophiles. In response, we'd like the record to reflect that he's a communist. Well, turns out the secret to beating any serious allegation is just calling the person making it a communist. Hell of a legal system. Who's next? Jeffrey Dahmer? Somebody get me his position on collective farming before we rush to judgment. 3 men, 3 public accusations, 0 lawsuits, not a cease and desist, not a filing, nothing. Funny how all that legendary legal aggression disappears the second somebody calls him a pedophile protector. Meanwhile, his Justice Department is in federal court fighting to keep millions of pages of Epstein's records buried. His acting attorney general has already admitted in a court filing that he's violating the very law Trump signed. A judge ordered the records produced or the withholding explained. Instead, they've missed the deadline and asked to show evidence privately to one judge, when the law says the public gets to see it. Maybe it's me, but if people were screaming that I raped children and my name showed up thousands of times in Jeffrey Epstein's files, you wouldn't have to drag the truth out of me. I'd move heaven and earth. Then I'd rip up whatever was underneath heaven and earth to move that too. I'd be throwing the truth at you. Every page, every email, every flight log, every goddamn receipt. Because if the truth clears your name, you don't hire a strategy. You release the evidence. He has done the opposite. 8 months of delays, 8 months of redactions, 2.5 million pages the public still isn't allowed to see. That's why people keep screaming these words at him. And if I happen to be the most litigious rich prick in American history, my defense would probably consist of something a little more convincing than a middle finger and a red scare slur. But what the fuck do I know? My inner circle wasn't holed up in the Situation Room, trying to figure out how to spin the story instead of simply proving there wasn't one.
Donald Trump, back in the first term when Jeff Sessions was Attorney General and was insufficiently evil.
Recuse himself. Sessions, you're fired. This is a disaster, a total disaster. I need loyalty.
Trump was reported as saying many times, "Where's my Roy Cohn? Where's my Roy Cohn?" And now he's found him.
Thank you very much. I love you, sir.
He's found someone as amoral, someone who just threw away all of his ethics as a lawyer. And by the way, if Trump's wondering, Roy Cohn is exactly where Jeff Epstein and Trump's dad are, and all 3 are waiting for him any day now. You'll see your Roy Cohn again very soon.
Hello, did you know that your brain is roughly 73% water? That's why even mild dehydration can sometimes contribute to things like headaches, dizziness, brain fog, irritability. Staying properly hydrated with water and electrolytes plays an important role in supporting memory, focus, and mental alertness. As we age, hydration becomes even more essential for helping our bodies function at their best. That's where Native Hydrate comes in. Native Hydrate, 100% natural with a thoughtfully designed formula that includes BCAAs and all 9 essential amino acids to support muscle recovery, strength, overall wellness. It helps replenish key electrolytes to support your body's natural energy levels, free of artificial flavors, sugars, dyes, only 5 calories a serving. Every order comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee. Try it risk-free at nativehydrate.com/Stephanie. See what it can do for your hydration and wellness. Yum, yum, yum.
Hi, and welcome back. Just 906 days left to go in our countdown to liberty. Today from the Oval Office, Donald Trump announced sweeping plans to renovate Dulles Airport, making it one of the most beautiful airports in the entire world. How long do you think it's going to be before he renames it Trump Airport? Just a thought. You know it's coming. Meanwhile, he said it's time for him to hit back at Iran. You got to smack him around a little bit. Definitely had to smack him around. Of course, he told Trey Yingst on Fox News that he was going to beat the living shit out of him or beat the fucking shit out of him, one of the two. And that always goes over well internationally. And finally, and most importantly, Dr. Fauci is now, according to the Donald Trump administration, entirely responsible for the COVID outbreak. Yes, that lost Donald Trump the election in 2020. It's all Fauci's fault. We heard, of course, it was Obama's, Biden's, now Fauci's fault. Never mind the fact that Donald Trump didn't want to test, couldn't get tests, and kept people from getting tested. But that's not a big problem. It's all Fauci's fault. Just another day in the life of the United States. Only the best. We're a hot country. Hot, hot. It is hot. There's no such thing as climate change, though. See you next time.
Well, good morning to Kobe, the co-founder and CEO of my good friends at Chapter. He goes by one name like Cher because he's a rock star in the Medicare advising area. Good morning, Kobe.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I have to tell you, I usually lie about my age, but I am navigating the Medicare maze. And Ari, my Chapter advisor, has been fantastic. Talk a little bit about what Chapter is and how you developed it.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. Chapter is a Medicare navigation platform that ensures that seniors get the right Medicare plan for their needs. And importantly, we're not just about signing people up for a plan at the beginning. We're really trying to be there for their entire Medicare journey so that people can save money on prescriptions, find doctors who are in network, appeal bills and claims, and really provide this overall platform to help people navigate what is just such a complex part of their lives.
It really is. And also, to your point, stuff changes. Like your own health changes, your medications, Medicare plans change all the time. So, and we should understand this is an absolutely free service, right? It's a 20-minute call, and independent Medicare advisor.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
Sucking up to Trump is just the best way to honor how Lindsey Graham lived his life. But surely there must have been some other thing this man was known for.
He was extremely hawkish. I will tell you, he never saw a war that he didn't like.
Yes, that is true. Perhaps the man loved Donald Trump, but he also loved bombing people.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah. Hey, look who's sporting a little cleavage for us.
What? Hey, is that legal?
It's that saucy little... as mom, Jersey, Dem, news junkie, Lebanese, hothead, geek. Everything we love, all rolled into one human. JoJo from Jers, Twitter rock stars. Work it.
JoJo shows her speeding lines way down there in the basement below.
Yeah, JoJo from Jers, Twitter and YouTube star.
Love her.
We need JoJo, her insights.
JoJo from Jers.
JoJo.
Yeah. The high priestess with a low neckline. Hello.
Oh, God.
Good morning. All right.
Good morning.
Speaking of Lindsey's funeral and just general weirdness, did you see Trump like double tap his? Was that like in honor like of a double tap strike in the sea, like an illegal war crime or something? Because Lindsey loved war so much, or was it just weird?
I think it was more how you double tapped your dog's behind when they retrieved your slippers.
He's just so relentlessly weird. Okay. And he did drop a giant load. You could tell the guy behind him. He dropped a giant load in his pants. Oh, God, I don't know if that's a Secret Service agent, but dear God. Okay. By the way, I just because I love everything about you, but your writing is so descriptive of the Oval Office because it's hard to even explain it. You said it looks like less like the office of the President of the United States and more like the inside of a Fabergé egg that caught gonorrhea in the back room of a strip mall nail salon. See?
Nothing good happens there.
That's why you're magic. Because it's hard to even put into words. You also said, let's see, where is it? Oh, the Oval Office feels like Versailles got roofied by Temu, woke up in a neon-lit massage parlor off I-95 wearing a fake Rolex, then decided the only reasonable next step was to marry the lobby of a Dubai card room in a ceremony officiated by a deranged parrot in a sequin tracksuit.
That could also describe the Tate brothers' arrest.
Did you say, oh my God, the picture of what's his name, Tate. I was like, that's the head of the manosphere? That's the alpha. Really? In the Capri?
Yeah.
I think I saw that outfit at Chico's.
Yes, the assistant manager of Chico's.
Yeah, in the mall. Yeah.
Welcome to Chico's. We're having a sale on tube tops. So what can we even say anymore about this just disgrace that happened yesterday with Dr. Fauci? Just give us your thoughts and reactions.
It's gaslighting, right? Like it's absolute. It's also Orwellian. That's the word I keep coming back to because he writes so much in 1984 about do not believe your own eyes and your own ears, and
yes.
2 + 2 = 5. If that's what they say, they have flipped reality on its head, and they are rewriting one of the darkest periods in our country's history and recasting the blame on the adults in the room when we all know what we lived through. Donald Trump was golfing. Yeah. He was at minimum dithering, delaying, denying, saying it is what it is when thousands of people were dying a day. We remember the Evita moment with the masks. And this kind of gaslighting makes you think you're losing your mind, but you can't. You have to continue to tether yourself to the truth and what you went through. But it's just so gross. It's so gross.
And, once again, both sides don't do it. Both parties aren't the same. When you look at Senator Ossoff last week, many Democrats, they're smart, they're tough, they ask the right questions, but they're not D-heads. Republicans, all of them, just seem like their whole thing is just to be a big bag of Ds to whoever the witness is, just to be as stupid and nasty and immature as possible, whether it's Rand Paul. And we were saying Bernie Moreno takes the prize because, as you know, Max Miller apparently beat up his daughter, broke her little girl's collarbone, threw boiling water on her. And he wants to know, he said to Dr. Fauci, who do you think you are? He said nothing. First of all, why is Max Miller not in prison? I don't really get that, but Mike Johnson doesn't know anything about that, I guess, among other things.
I'm just sitting here staring at Graham Plattner right now. You know what I mean? Because they had this, they wanted us to be shamed for ever considering nominating this person and running him for Senate. Meanwhile, what's sitting in their own party in Congress right now is far worse. I mean, again, like you said, she was, I think, 2 years old when he broke his daughter's collarbone, and her grandfather silent on the subject, not a word. That's profiles in cowardice right there.
Well, and so then he did this stunt. I just mentioned it before the break, Jojo, but he went off on Fauci, asked members of the audience to stand up if they had faced pushback or even lost their jobs during the pandemic. Moreno then pressed Fauci to look behind him at the people. They're trying to recreate the Pam Bondi moment with the Epstein survivors, with this doctor that was trying to help these people stay alive with the best scientific, advice at the time, right?
But that really kind of nails it, because I think so much of why they're dragging this out of the past and trying to vilify Dr. Fauci is because they're trying to distract us from the Epstein scandal that will not go away. Todd Blanche is still up for confirmation and is still not being considered by many senators because he's still obfuscating what is in those files. And that's not going away. So they're trying to do everything they can to distract us from that, from the Iran war debacle, from the economy, from everything moving in the wrong direction. So, hey, let's bring back Dr. Fauci and fearmonger because our Red Scare stuff isn't working.
Yeah, exactly. And also just, you always are standing up for the troops, and you just... These moments just become so disgraceful. You said, Donald Trump sent 4 heroes to their deaths, and now he erased their sacrifices from the official record because he is a sociopath who's waging an illegal war he knows that none of us support. That one I've even heard veterans talk about, how disrespectful that was. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, your loved one's death doesn't really count. It was just in an international operation of someone, not really a war, just because it was after his fake ceasefire, right?
Can you imagine a few days prior, he had the dignified transfer, which this one he attended, but of course used it for a TikTok. And a few days later, you say to those families, one of which went to one of his rallies immediately afterward, and you say your child's sacrifice wasn't in a war at all. But I just want to add to that again, like, this is what drives me crazy about the lie and the way they conflate and the truth on his support of the troops. I don't know if you've heard this, but the other day he was asked about China giving, help to Iran to target our bases, and he said, things happen. I would be disappointed if it were true. Disappointed because he doesn't care about our vulnerable troops over there. He only cares about his best friends who are the worst actors in the world, in Xi and Putin. So this is not a person who stands with our troops. They're expendable.
He's such an easily duped idiot. He's like, oh, Vladimir says they're not. We know that Russia's helping Iran. We know that they're helping target Americans. He's just an idiot. Oh, President Xi tells me no. Oh, God. Yeah, you just said an obliterated military keeps killing our troops. 3 more Americans are dead. The commander-in-chief, quote-unquote, spent the weekend golfing and posing with someone else's trophy. I mean, I have to think, Jodo, that this is starting to sink in if you look at polling, right? Even with his base. It's starting to get pretty dire.
Yeah, I mean, he's lower than he was after January 6th in some polls. I mean, he's kryptonite. He's damaged goods to say the very least, but I don't think he's planning on that hurting his party in the midterms because he's not planning on having free and fair elections. So he's not planning on having a referendum. He doesn't care about his polling.
Well, I saved this because this is your home state of Jersey. Here's the good news stack. DOJ loses in New Jersey, now 0-18 on voter roll demands. So, so far, Joe, at least at the courts, he keeps losing on all the voter suppression stuff he's trying, right? I mean, you're right that he's going to try 11 billion other things, right?
Yeah. At least for now, the courts are holding on this issue. Of course, he's gone back to the Supreme Court that he thinks is his, personal trough of grievance and retribution.
Yeah.
He's gone back to them to stop mail-in voting, and let's see what they do on their shadow docket. But you're right, at least for now, the courts are holding. But God knows what other measures he'll take because we can't suffer from a lack of imagination.
Can you just believe this whiny little diaper baby is just, can you make E.G. Carroll give the money back? What? You already lost. She took my candy.
Yeah, but don't you know it's not rape if you only use your finger?
Oh, God. How many times can we discuss this? Jojo, let's discuss amongst us gals. It's not exactly a compliment that she doesn't know if it was his little tiny Cheeto finger or his little tiny Cheeto deformed mushroom penis. It's still, if you get penetrated with anything against your will, it's rape, right? Sorry,
exactly.
I'm screaming.
But hey, for MAGA, those are hairs they're willing to split somehow.
Also, I loved your post. You said, as an American, as someone who majored in communications, as someone who grew up believing journalism was one of the last sacred callings in a democracy, the White House Correspondents' Dinner makes me sick. Yes, thank you. Particularly in the era of Trump, he won't come if there's a comedian, because God forbid anyone makes fun of him. He just wants an opportunity to insult journalists to their face. Like, what's the point of it? It's not about the First Amendment.
Not at all. That whole thing was embarrassing. And it kind of exemplifies why the American people don't trust our press.
Yeah.
You see Kristen Welker hobnobbing with Stephen Miller, and you're like, I don't know about unbiased and free and impartial coverage here when you're buddies over champagne and caviar. The whole thing was gross. They're getting awards for exposing him with Jeffrey Epstein.
Can you imagine Edward R. Murrow like, oh, it's bad, but Goebbels is hilarious at a party. Oh my God, he does impressions. It's just...
He does impressions of the Führer that are
hilarious. Yeah. Oh, he does this with his finger, so it's the mustache.
They have a special cocktail. It's deadly. Too soon?
Yeah. So you wrote a whole piece, which was fantastic. We've linked to everything you ever do because we love you so much. But the other thing, it is getting to be like a punchline than blaming Biden. But you just wrote, Donald passed the buck, Trump. Has there ever been a bigger baby in the history of time? We're more than 550 damn days into season 2 of the Donald Trump show. 550 rancid episodes of a renewal. Nobody with a frontal lobe pulse or a functioning remote control being ordered. And it just, like clockwork, they blame, it's gotten to be like, oh, come on, right?
Again, our weapon stockpiles. We know what we're doing in Iran to stop the drones and missiles from blowing up our bases. By the way, obviously and sadly, to the tune of 18 Americans that are now lost, not completely effectively. Every one of our interceptors costs, I don't even know, upwards of like $1 million or more, right? Our Patriots are God knows how much, even more than that. We are depleting our stockpiles in a forever unending war. He started without an extraction idea or the thought in his brain, and he will blame those weapon stockpile munitions being low on Joe Biden,
on Biden,
who hasn't been in office in 550 something days.
And obviously, COVID, Biden's fault as well, even though he's the one. I mean, literally, we had the worst response in the world, statistically, under Donald Trump. We had the best recovery in the world, statistically, economically, and every other way, under Joe Biden. Period.
Okay. Yeah, we had the strongest recovery of all our G7 peers and the lowest inflation of all our G7 peers at the end of Joe Biden's term, and it's flipped now. We have the worst inflation of all of our G7 peers because of Donald Trump and the 550 plus days he's been in office.
Yeah, which your point is it's Fauci's fault. Okay. All right, 19 minutes.
Obvious.
Yeah.
Obviously. 19 minutes after the hour. I don't even know what to say about where we are now. We're apparently out of bullets. Which I guess is Joe Biden's fault. So now what, right?
Yeah, that astonishes me, by the way. We are out of munitions. Let's not say bullets, but our rockets seem to be running low. Mm-hmm. And somehow it's the fault of the guy who's been out of office.
Yeah, who didn't start this war.
By the way, he sent the excuses he sent it all to Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Yes.
But everything he sent to Ukraine was surplus.
Thank you. I know.
It was. I don't want to say out of date, but it was older stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want to do sport. I always save the sporting of the sports for you, since you are a noted sports writer. In addition,
yeah, me and Carlos.
Yeah.
Yes, I am very in our Dodgers, Jody. I don't know about you. Here in LA, Post today, your Los Angeles Dodgers gave the man withholding $34 billion in California fire relief funds and $2.616 billion in California Medicaid funding a World Series ring. Yep. That's what the White House Correspondents' thing is about. Like, don't normalize this monster in any way.
Don't give him the usual president stuff, including respect, by the way.
Right.
When he starts respecting his office, I'll start respecting his office.
Right. I thought, did you happen to see Caitlin Collins on Daily Show?
No, I didn't, but I watched the video of it this morning.
Yeah.
She's very good.
She is.
Yeah, but that's
She's
journalism.
Very good. That is one cool customer.
And by the way, there's zillions of pictures of her smiling. It's just maybe she doesn't like smiling for holes.
Well, and also she's working.
She's working. She's a serious journalist. It's like, he thinks everything's a pageant, right? I mean, but yeah, I thought do we have one more? Yeah, play one more. This is Caitlin Collins on Daily Show.
In terms of my reaction, I've always felt this. Regardless of who's the president, whether it's Joe Biden, Donald Trump, those are the two I've covered. It's really not about me. And I don't want it to be about my reaction. And so I think if you let it become about that, then it becomes a back and forth between the two of us. And instead, I think it's more effective to remind people in those moments when he is insulting me or when he is criticizing me about the question I asked or the reporting that I did that he was so angry about in this moment, and the fact that I got an award for it really bothered him clearly. And so I just think in those moments, it's important to put the reminder back on the work, on the question, and on the non-answers that we get.
It's a...
Wow.
That's a journalist, right? The story's not about me.
Right.
Yeah. You know what, though? I wish somebody would make it about them.
Yeah.
Me too.
You know, basically, don't talk to me like I'm your pool boy down at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. Well, we've said when he says, "Who are you with?" The American people, who you work for.
He's nuts.
Yeah, and these nuts.
And these nuts, yes.
And these nuts right here. Charlie, just because you're in Massachusetts, I just have to ask you if you ever thought we'd be having conversations about a Kennedy like this. But it's just.
Well, I don't accept Bobby Jr. as a Massachusetts Kennedy.
He's a California Kennedy.
He's a California Kennedy. He's a New York Kennedy.
Oh, great! Blame it on us.
There you go. See.
So the cyclosporus outbreak, which can cause explosive diarrhea, has now spread to 41 states. Last year, RFK Jr. ordered the CDC's Foodborne Diseases Active Surveillance Network to stop tracking the illness. I feel like that might be relevant somehow to this explosive diarrhea that we're currently...
This is, and I know I'm treading on Dr. Doom's territory here.
Yeah.
But this guy, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, doesn't believe in germ theory.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't believe that. I mean, that's 600 years of medical science.
Yeah.
We're going to sacrifice to a guy who collects dead raccoon penises.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, do you want to know Scott Jennings' favorite joke?
What?
And I use the word joke very loosely, of Trump's was, I hope you're enjoying the beef tonight. Bobby Kennedy ran over the cow himself. Because all Republican jokes involve some sort of cruelty, either human or animal.
Well, no, but actually, that's not a bad joke. You know, if Jon Stewart said that, I'd laugh at it.
Okay, well.
It's all about the delivery.
Jody and I are too plant-based.
It's all about the delivery.
For us to laugh, but okay.
I like a steak.
Of course you do.
You're a bastard person. Okay. But I
like my raccoon penises tartare myself.
But I just thought, here we are. This is the crazy part of the crazy timeline we're in. Trump, frustrated with RFK Jr., thinks he isn't doing enough to cut childhood vaccines. This is the Crazy Pants, Bobby Brainworm, is not crazy enough for. This is according to the reporting this morning. Oh, let's spill a little tea. Spill a little British tea.
No.
Speaking
New
of
Zealand.
royals.
New Zealand.
Yeah, whatever. Oh. Oh my God. So Lord is how do you say it? Lord with the total royal bitch to your daughter. Tell the story.
Can't hear you.
No, she's muted. You're muted.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Am I back?
Yes,
there
you're
back.
back.
All right, go ahead.
So I didn't know she was. I thought she was British too. Steph. Full disclosure. But
I was just trying to get to the royal bitch joke. But all right, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was on our plane, and my daughter saw her as we were boarding, and was like, "What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" She loves her. Loves that song.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna bother her. Whatever. She was very respectful. Did not bother her during the entire flight, obviously. So she's like trying to hatch a plan. She's like, I'm gonna go say hi to her. I have it all figured out. I'll just say when we get off, I'll wait for her and I'll say hi and I'm a big fan. That's what happened. So Abby waits and very politely approaches Lord, who was just walking slowly, and I didn't hear all the interaction, but I saw Lord's face, and then I saw my daughter's completely crestfallen face, because she just said, I'm a really big fan, and asked for a picture, and she's like, no, and I saw her face, and she was nasty, and then we saw her again at baggage claim, nasty. So
she is off our list. Take that out of our instant replay. We're not ever playing that bump song again.
Boo!
I'm
Boo.
sorry. That sucks.
Like, if it's a kid, Chris and I were just talking, if it's me or some psycho grown-up who's like, I get it. But like a cute little girl, you know? Come on.
Aww.
But she also didn't know who your daughter's mother was, who has
That's right.
a rather large online presence.
That was kind of a bad mistake of someone to piss off millions of social media followers.
Lord.
You never know who's a social media influencer. You
That's
might
right.
not recognize her, but you are now.
That's right.
All right, that whole story was worth it for the royal bitch joke, I thought.
Yeah. If only she was British.
All right. Also, could I just confirm something? Are you drinking a mimosa currently, or is that just orange juice?
I am.
Could I love you anymore? I don't think that I could, because I was like, wait, did
And
we?
coffee.
I
Coffee.
I was like, wait, did we miss a news alert?
Look at that. She has coffee and a mimosa. That is
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
I'm on vacation, technically.
I live by that rule as well. Mimosas on vacation are just kind of an anytime thing. Okay.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right.
I thought maybe I missed a news alert and you started celebrating without me. I'm like, wait a minute, Chris, go get the champagne.
No, Steph, I am celebrating because I'm in the city where you and I fell in love.
That's right.
Oh, it's true, Chicago.
Yeah.
I left my heart in San Francisco. That's where my girlfriend is. But I left my my original nose in Chicago, and it is also where I fell in love with you. That's a true story.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was. JoJo was my next door neighbor at the hotel in Chicago.
Oh, I know. Fortunately
Chris,
for
we
her.
don't speak about the things that you heard through that wall.
Yeah,
We
what
never
happens
speak.
at the DNC stays at the DNC. All
Yep.
right.
How many men have to say that?
Are you gonna get to the Obama Presidential Center? Oh my God, I can't wait to go.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't actually on my list, believe it or not. I'm like, I should return my lib card, but I would love to. Yeah.
I was gonna say I think it's sold out forever, except you.
Yeah, you might have some pull.
Yeah, you and Lord might be able to get in together.
Yeah, Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Now that you say that, I will see what kind of wheels I can grease because I didn't get invited to the opening.
Oh, pull some
They must
strings.
have lost it.
Pull some strings, lady. Do some "Don't You Know Who I Am" stuff. Come on, do it.
Lord's about to know. Let me tell you.
All right, we have another solid half hour with our beloved JoJo from Jersey. With the warmer weather here, you're spending more time outdoors, which means more sunshine and more reasons to take care of your skin. Most of you are doing way too much when it comes to skincare. Too many bottles, too many steps, not enough results. I prefer something that actually works. Here it is. That's why I use Vibrance Super C Serum every day. It's an all-in-one hydrating serum that targets wrinkles, age spots, and other signs of aging. It's made with high-quality vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, vitamin B5, and E to help your skin looking healthier, more hydrated, more vibrant. Super C Serum replaces that whole clutter of day cream, eye cream, night cream, and more in one simple step. Simplify your skincare routine like I do with Vibrance Super C Serum. If you don't love it, they'll give you a refund within the first year. Go to Vibrance.com/Stephanie, save up to 37% off, and get free shipping. That's spelled Vibrance, Vibrance.com/Stephanie. Cling!
Nobody believes everything that is in the Bible. The Bible clearly commands us to kill anyone who works more than 6 days a week. It bluntly forbids ever eating ham or wearing clothing made of mixed materials. It forbids divorce, but not polygamy. It forbids playing football, but doesn't forbid slavery. It forbids gathering sticks on a Saturday, but doesn't forbid genocide. It forbids eating shrimp, but doesn't forbid trading your 10-year-old child for a goat.
We're the richest, most powerful country in the history of the world. And, you know, we fight wars for no reason. But whenever we talk about providing health care, everyone's like, well, I don't know if we can do it. Well, it's a choice. These are policy choices. I would rather not spend $1 trillion on war. I'd rather spend that money on health care and schools and infrastructure.
Makes good sense to me.
Yeah.
That is Abdul Al-Sayed running for Senate in Michigan. I had Cliff Schechter on last week, and who does not like him, and so I was immediately, what was it? An anti-Muslim bigot, neoliberal establishment hack, and then I had Dino Badawa on 2 days ago, and I immediately became a Jew hater again.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck
Anti-Zionist.
threading that needle. There's no winning there.
None.
Nope. That's why I'll just sit back and drink my mimosa and let it sort itself out. As an Arab Irish American, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Lebanese hothead.
So what do you make of all this, the infighting and they always try to gin this up. Democrats in disarray, infighting, the funding of the DNC, blah, blah, blah. I mean...
The DNC is a hot mess. I'm not going to lie. DNC is a hot mess.
Yes.
DNC, I don't know what happened. The lessons that they took from 2024 are implode more. I can't, it's a shame because I've tried a lot of different ways and opportunities to sort of help them reshape, and a lot of people have in the creator world. It is chaos, but I will say for this infighting that it is part of what happened to us in 24. And I call it the Veruca assaults. I call them the Veruca assaults of the Democratic Party, where they want what they want and they want it now.
Yeah.
And it has to be exactly what only they want, and such a myopic, narrow tunnel view of what the party needs to get through this moment that it frustrates me. Because it's like, snap out of it. We cannot fight with each other right now. We're all on the same side of democracy.
To get out of fascism. Thank you. We keep saying I was a huge Jasmine Crockett fan. I'm glad. I'm thrilled with James Tallarico. I'm glad he's ahead in Texas. I hope he wins. I don't get a vote in all these states, right? Like I don't get a vote in Michigan. I like Mallory McMorrow, but what do I know? You know what I mean? Like it's. Let's have our primaries and everybody shut them up, unless you're JoJo from Jers. Okay. Because I love how you put it in your latest piece that we've linked to as usual. You said everything is going spectacularly, catastrophically, Titan submersible wrong. And yet somehow, through a feat of chronological acrobatics so strenuous it makes Cirque du Soleil contortionists rupture 3 discs and reconsider their career choices, it's still Joe Biden's fault. I mean, if that's what they're running on, okay. But you said, hell, Barack Obama still catches stray bullets from this whole excuse factory. I'm genuinely surprised he hasn't blamed Jimmy Carter for drop calls, Abraham Lincoln for airline baggage fees, and Ulysses S. Grant for the fact that Diet Coke keeps going flat. Because the buck never stops with Donald Trump.
Right.
No. It's funny, again, since they have decided to revisit and revise COVID. He said famously, I take no responsibility.
Yeah.
Do you imagine any other president in the history of our country going through a crisis of any kind and saying, knowing the buck supposedly stops with you, that you take no responsibility?
And you wrote this piece, Joe, before the Fauci show yesterday. You said, remember during COVID when that slackjaw blame vacuum turned every White House briefing into another round of presidential pin the blame on literally anybody else. China, Democratic governors, the media, Anthony Fauci, blue states, windmills, anyone with a heartbeat and a name tag, anybody except the wheezing, blame-hoarding huckster standing behind the presidential seal, that bloated, grievance-gargling gas bag. It's the descriptiveness of your writing that
I'm very, I definitely hold back on my words. But do you remember during Sexy Liberal in Chicago at the beginning of the DNC when you had J.B. Pritzker on your panel, and J.B. Pritzker was talking about how Donald Trump was literally telling them, the governors, if you're nice to me, if you flatter me enough, I'll give you the life-saving PPE that you need? That's a governor of a massive state.
They had to go elsewhere to get life-saving equipment because Trump was a vindictive little
bitch
back then too. Thank you.
But Dr. Fauci, let's blame Dr. Fauci. Of course, that's where the blame belongs.
I mean, as you say, he inherited an economy moving in the right direction the first time. He inherited an economy moving in the right direction the second time. Both times, he wrapped those bruised, blotchy, burger grease little mitts around the wheel, mashed the accelerator with all the foresight of a drunken lawnmower, and steered us straight toward the nearest fiscal sinkhole. Yeah, and here we are again, where it is provably, like you were talking about inflation. You can't spin that. Joe Biden handed him 2.9. We're at 4 point something now, right?
Right, and you can't spin the debt. In Donald Trump's the first season of this dumpster fire, he already handled us the third largest increase to our debt and deficit in our country's history. Now with the second tag along, with this big, beautiful BS bill,
Yeah.
he's increased that. So now he alone, during a term and a half, is responsible for 28% of the entire country's debt and deficit in our history. In our country's history, one person is responsible for 28% of that. He can't run away from that.
Yeah. This part I have to read because it involves farts and poops, and this is why you have children and I'm your best friend, because you said, I genuinely believe we are 2 weeks, 3 tops away from that incontinent insult to upholstery, getting his pants in on a tarmac, staring down in bewilderment like his own ass just staged a coup and demanding a congressional investigation into Joe Biden's role in Operation Brown Thunder. I maintain that he clearly his pants at Lindsey Graham's funeral if you look at the guy behind him. But see, you are a little bit prescient in your writing as well.
A friend of mine sent me a beer can, and it was Joe Biden blank my pants, and it was that picture. And I was like, this is an inspiration for me to write a piece, honestly. So it was like prescient based on a beer can. But we are really not that far from that. And by the way, standing downwind from him should be classified as a war crime.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Can you imagine?
Exactly. So you just, this is our call to action that JoJo always gives us at the end. You just said everything moving in the wrong direction right now belongs to Donald Trump. The tariffs, the exploding grocery bills, the gas prices, the endless unwinnable war with Iran, the measles outbreaks, the flesh-eating screwworm chewing through American livestock, the salmonella recalls, the E. coli scares, families choosing between rent and insulin, parents wondering how they're going to keep the lights on, every diplomatic debacle, every fiscal up, every market spooking, confidence crushing, self-sabotaging catastrophe. He owns every bit of it, and that's the case we got to make. And I hope the polling is bearing us out on that most Americans, are blaming him.
Yeah, I think it's easier to paint a negative picture when the reality is not that bad than it is to paint a rosy picture when everyone is looking around and feeling it in real time. And you can't make people not feel the price of a pizza or of their health care or their prescriptions or their electric bill. You can't make people wish that away because you tell them we're the hottest country in the world. I think that he cannot spin this. I think that people are waking up and realizing that and not only that, he's lied to them. We are in a forever war now.
I just told these guys yesterday, I just got groceries yesterday, JoJo, I'm telling you, that's why, what was that story recently? People are having to take out loans to pay their grocery bills. I was like, oh my God. I mean,
paying for it on Klarna and, all of these things too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
meanwhile, Scott Bessent, who's a billionaire, and I don't know whose skin he wears because it's not his, but I know that if you put the lotion in the basket, you won't get the hose again. But he's saying that our credit card debt is a good sign. It's a good sign that we're running up our credit cards to pay for our groceries.
Right.
Really?
Why are he and Kevin Hassett always so creepily smiley? You know what I mean? When they're just talking about we're going to be maybe in another Great Depression.
I think it's a fresh cadaver that they're just waiting for them in Stephen Miller's basement.
Marie in New York City, you're on with JoJo from Jers. Hey, Marie.
Hi there, Steph. Watching the Fauci thing yesterday for just a few minutes, it was kind of like watching Jesus before Herod.
Yeah. I mean, they're just such a bag of all of them, right? I mean, it's hard to pick. And they're all just like, well, who do we play? Ron Johnson, the vaccine injured have been committing mass suicide. Like, what? You'd think someone might have covered that, but what?
I think he went on another news show and said that Dr. Fauci alone killed 9 million people.
9 million people.
Him
He
or
said
Tommy.
9 million. Yeah.
Him or Tommy Tuberville that said that. By the way, Ron Johnson's arc since he played the albino in Foul Play is exactly what one would have expected. That's a deep pull.
Wow.
That guy was creepy when he was stalking Goldie Hawn in the library. I know what you mean. Yeah, creepy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Beth in Montana wants to explain the coffin tap that Trump did on Lindsey Graham.
Okay.
Yes. Hi, Beth.
Good morning. I am a native Chicagoan, best city in the United States, and I come from a giant Irish Catholic family. Every single funeral I've ever gone to, you knock on the casket to make sure the person is dead, and if they knock back, they aren't.
Oh, have they tried that with Mitch
So-
McConnell yet? I'm just wondering. Has anyone tried that? Can you believe we're sitting here in the year of our Lord 2026 and we assume a sitting senator is dead and that there is a giant cover-up?
I remember Lloyd Aston. Remember when they were losing
Yeah.
their minds because the Secretary of Defense was MIA for a minute?
Right.
I mean, they think we're stupid, but then again, we can't prove that he's dead, so maybe we are.
Oh my God! Have you seen the one where Elaine Chao's talking and then she folds up a cardboard Mitch? Like it's becoming just a laughing stock. These ridiculous still photos.
Missing persons posters are going up on light poles around D.C.
Yeah. And yet, I love Bashir. You guys have had him on the show. He's fantastic. I love him. But it's like, we don't need another strongly worded letter. Can you just go to the hospital, Andy? Can you just let it go?
I'll get you some crampons and suction cups. Just go up the side of the building. Haven't you seen a Spider-Man movie? Just get in there somehow. We'll deal with we'll pay your bail. We'll figure it out. Good God.
Well, that's what Trump does. He does it and then figures out how to weasel out of it.
Yeah,
Afterwards, we need to do a little more of that.
Like, hello, journalists. Like, wait, really?
Yeah.
There's nobody that can find out if Mitch McConnell's dead.
If this were Trump, he would demolish the hospital around him.
Right.
Like, whoops. What are you going to do about it?
Right. So obviously we've been talking about affordability all morning, and I know some of this seems like small ball compared to I don't know, the Iran debacle. The Trump administration asking Congress for an additional $10 million to cover costs related to the Freedom 250 events held on the National Mall, including the prayer event and the fair and the fireworks show and the whatever. I mean, Malcolm Nance said it. It is grifting. They are grifting, but it's also just out like stealing. They're just looting the taxpayer money, right?
And by the way, that was a bait and switch too, because the congressionally approved fund that existed a decade ago for the 250, they subverted it and created the basically Trump-run one. But also, I'm old enough to remember when we took $1.2 billion for the Board of Peace. Where did that money go?
Right.
Like where did
we know where?
Right. Where did all the Venezuelan oil money go? He keeps talking about all these billions and billions of dollars that are coming in. They're going into his pockets and his son's coffers.
And meanwhile, we've been talking about this all week. I'm sure you have too. Trump overruled his own agencies when he denied disaster aid for 4 Democratic-led states this month. Your state, right? Massachusetts, Rhode Island. He also denied a request by New York after administration officials verified it had met federal standards for approval. I mean, the vindictive, it just knows no end, right?
Again, if any other president had done any of this, it would be a massive, presidency-ending scandal. But the thing, too, is that it goes back to COVID. Remember, he and Jared were hatching plans to hurt blue states, to prevent blue states from getting recovery, because those states didn't vote for him, and it would look bad for their governors. He is a megalomaniac, sociopath, narcissist who does not care about human life. But by the way, like you said, I live in New Jersey. Where I live is very red. Most of New Jersey is actually quite red. Go down the shore, it's all Trump country. So it's his own voters, his own supporters who he is hurting, and he doesn't care. This is insane. This is not what a president does. This is what an insane person who belongs in an asylum does.
Thank you. My one wish for you is for you to come out of your shell at some point. Come on, Mitch McConnell's done it. Okay, 47 minutes after the hour. This point, I came downstairs. You guys were already talking about it. I'm like, oh, come on with this picture of apparently Mitch McConnell Benjamin buttoning.
It's the same photo.
It's the same photo.
But he looks even younger.
It's the same photo, basically. It's worst AI ever.
Oh, he uses photo filters like someone else I know.
I use just the one. I don't know how to do fancy stuff. My girlfriend knows how to do fancy stuff. All I can do is just pick, I don't know, vibrant, bright or something. I don't know how to do them. If I do, watch out. If I learn how to
then you'll look like Mitch McConnell.
If I learn how to use the Mitch McConnell filter, I will do it. I mean, come on.
Even kidnappers will show proof of life video.
He doesn't. His phone doesn't have the video feature? Is that it?
He's got a jitterbug phone, Stephanie.
Are they going with that? He's old. He doesn't know how to use the video feature.
He's got a flip phone.
Oh my God, it's so fishy. And also, is it because Elaine Chao took off for China when this happened that now she's apparently glued to his side like a tumor?
She hasn't been glued to his side for 30 years.
Yeah.
Would you want to do that?
Can I just say, I know that it's hard to pick one biggest scandal of our time because it's hourly at this point. But oh my God, all those people need to go to jail.
Yeah,
Whoever
they do.
isn't participating in this cover up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, and God bless the Aaron Parnases of the world. Somebody posted about, they said when he started surveilling, the hospital suddenly, Mitch has moved to a rehab center. It's just this, you can feel the panic and these posts just sound so unbelievable. He's, fully dressed again and, it's like to make it to the, what is the thing? The picnic?
Whatever festival it is.
But I'm not quite up to it. Like he has a tummy ache and he's not, what's the word, Jody?
Alive?
Dead. Yes.
Well, James Carville did a whole thing on his show.
Dogs are having a frenzy.
James Carville just had surgery and was in his bed and did a podcast.
Yeah. No, it just gets fishier every time they do this, right?
It'll be interesting when they announce that he's no longer with us, because if it's like next Tuesday, it's a little soon.
Yeah, someone said, thoughts and or prayer, whatever, on Mitch's passing next week. Yeah.
I expect you to broadcast from your bed if you're recovering from a facelift or something.
Absolutely. I beg your pardon. I've had enough. There's no faces left.
No more?
No more. Oh, maybe for my film debut with Jody Hamilton.
I'm sorry,
by the way,
what?
we have the Stephanie Miller Show has a correction.
Do we?
Because I heard on Bob Seska's show, because Jody Hamilton is a giver, she's a liberal helper. And she offered to co-star with me in Sexy Squirters 2, the porn film being shot at her house.
No, but it's Sexy Squirters 3 because we actually did Sexy Squirters 2.
I did not know that.
House.
I thought this was the sequel you were inviting me to do. You would do Gay for Pay.
I've done it already.
Girl on girl.
I've already done it.
Porn with me. Shush. I'm talking to my casting director. Now,
I have a question about your casting.
Chris, yes, what?
Are you a squirter?
Oh. It was hilarious talking to the actors.
No, but my girlfriends are. Listen, Jody,
Well,
my
she's had
point
an
is,
LEI,
I
know
thought
that.
you were inviting me to do sexy, and so the Stephanie Miller Show apologizes for the error. That has already been shot, so to speak. They already shot that entire load of film at Jody's house.
It was just ladies.
Sexy Squirters.
Lady film.
So this would be Sexy Squirters 3 we would be in.
Sexy Scuba
Well, I
Squirters
appreciate the
3.
offer.
Yeah.
And Bob Seska also said I had what did you say, superhero sinew strength, because Sam, you haven't heard this story yet. Bob Seska, he is, what did he say, 220, 6'4", something like that.
He's very tall.
Yeah, exactly the same as Trump. And I'm sorry, my eyes got lodged back in my head. Okay, they're back. Where was I?
And the squirters.
When he I pulled his when he got in the bike accident and fell into the brambles, I pulled him out by his yam sack. But he said I have superhuman, because you were saying I'm like a $110, which is true. Yeah, 5'7", $110. And he said I have superhuman sinew strength. And then David said that I could win any bar fight, and I like that legend to just.
Have you even been near a bar fight?
Not since I threw that one Girl Scout into the jukebox. No. That was pretty much, if you're going to start a bar fight, you finish it, and that's the end of your career. All right. Anyway, thank you. I do have superhuman sinew strength. Thank you, Bob. All right. Which is, I assume, why you cast me in Sexy Squirters 3. Chris would like us to stop saying that.
That's a certain kind of strength, though. That's not exactly like sinew strength. That's like
right. Like ping pong balls.
Yeah.
Show in Thailand. 54 minutes after the hour, our beloved JoJo from Jersey. General Rockstar of Life is here, creator of the Siren Network, thesirennetwork.com. Check it out. The Are You Kidding Me on Substack. She is just a force of nature.
That's right.
Also, what did we learn? Lord is a royal pain in your ass. She was mean to your daughter on a plane.
Yep.
And that's why we are now Team Katy Perry. Did you see this? She posted she was deeply appalled and angry that her hit Firework had been used for a White House montage of military strike clips titled Iran Has Been Warned. And so this is just the behavior you witnessed at the Fauci hearings. This is all of them. From White House spokespeople on down, they're just a big bag of b****s. They're just, so they, White House hits back at Katy Perry by stealing another song. So then they used her Part of Me, and the video splices in actual footage of Perry herself, taken from the song's military-themed music video. They White House posted it and tagged Perry with the word "hi" and a waving hand emoji, just to be a bag of D's.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, when you aren't in the possession of any, you do whatever you can
Yes.
to approximate what you think that looks like. You know what it is? It's the tyranny. It's tyranny of bullies, really. I mean, I have another word for them.
Yes.
That rhymes with unmuckable, but I'll go with bullies. Because it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bullies because they couldn't get a girl organically, and they're mad. They're gonna take it out on the world now, and we're all under that thumb for the moment, and it's just gross.
Yep.
As a mom, as a human being, I don't want to see this behavior modeled or rewarded. And
Yep.
we've gone through how many years of it now?
Yep. It is time for today's. This one from West Virginia.
Okay.
West Virginia Republican leader resigns after
Child sex arrest.
Yes. How did you know? It was. It's so weird. Yes. Somebody. He just resigned from the State House of Delegates on Monday with a one-sentence letter to the House Speaker.
All right.
Yeah, he worked as a public school teacher. Was arrested last week.
Of course.
The family of a 15-year-old female reported to law enforcement that the child was sexually abused by Pitt. According to the criminal complaint, he allegedly began communicating with the girl when she was in 8th grade.
Oh, God.
Through the online game Roblox. Oh, dear God. Then later Snapchat, and he also allegedly sent sexually explicit photos of himself and requested the girl send nude photos of herself.
And he's
how is it being the mom of a little girl these days?
I mean, well, I have to say, I don't know what happened, Abby, if I'm modeling it or if it's just what's in her algorithm, but she is a hurricane when it comes to this stuff, and she is mad. She is not taking this stuff. Like, she hates the Tates. She was not a fan of Charlie Kirk's. She does not like Donald Trump.
Good.
And I think that her generation of females is no. Well, this is not on our watch. And I appreciate that. And unfortunately, we live in a society right now where the Tates and Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth and Elon Musk are getting rewarded for the world's worst behavior. And there's going to be blowback. They may not know that word, but they're going to be blowback.
Elon Musk is suing Minnesota over a first-in-the-law nation banning technology that allows users to create and post deepfake videos of images of people naked without their consent. So he can continue to do deepfake naked photos.
Right.
I mean, they're all just creeps, in my opinion. It's just
gross.
They're littered with rapists and sexual assaulters throughout the administration and on, right?
They're having a renaissance at the moment, but again, the pendulum is going to swing back.
It will.
Yeah,
Hard.
it's going to swing back.
Yeah.
Hard. They don't know that word hard in the context that they might like, but and they might not know when I say it's coming for them, but believe me, it is.
JoJo from Jersey, we love you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, guys.